What's going on, my fellow A-Plusers? Welcome back once again to a brand new episode of A-Plus Morphinominal, your weekly stop for your Power Rangers and Super Sentai review and news right here on our YouTube page, A-Plus Morphinominal. I probably should start adding Kamen Rider to that announcement as well, because yes, we are in fact doing Kamen Rider Saber reviews. If you guys did in fact miss it, Stuart did go ahead and do our episode 1 review for Saber earlier on this week, so definitely go ahead and check it out on our channel when you get the opportunity. But guys, it's the weekend, it's Saturday. You know what we love to do here, Ranger Nation, Tokusatsu fans. We love to talk Power Rangers, Super Sentai, and all that good stuff, guys. And we have a stacked lineup for you guys today. We've got a ton of great things, I feel like, as a Power Ranger fan, to certainly look forward to. Not only do we have Beast Morphers Season 2, or the second half of Season 2, yet to go ahead and drop for us, which will be dropping next weekend. Yes, I'm probably the only person on the face of this planet that has yet to watch this second half. I know it has leaked internationally, but I've yet to watch it. So we've got that to certainly look forward to. So we'll be talking about that a little bit. We also have Hasbro PulseCon 2020 that's going to be dropping on September 25th and 26th. We're going to be talking about that. And we're also going to be getting into the potential Dino Fury cast, ladies and gentlemen, that the Illuminderi announced earlier on this week. We'll definitely be talking about that and much more, ladies and gentlemen. So sit back, relax. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. So if you want to crack open a beer, or if you're eating breakfast and sipping on some OJ, get comfortable. Let's go ahead and talk about some fantastic things this week, and just get into a big discussion. Just remember, guys, as always, these are just my A-plus opinions. At the end of the day, I definitely want to know yours. So please go ahead and let your thoughts be known in the live chat or the comment section box below. And the one thing that I always say here, guys, please be respectful of one another. You know, while we are giving each other everybody's opinions here, giving our own personal opinions, agree or disagree, at least just be respectful to one another, okay? But before we go ahead and get into our topics this week, I want to show some love to everybody that's joined us today. We've got Blossom certainly coming through, Johnny Marrero in the house as well. Johnny, get the body bag, yeah! I love it, Johnny. Who else we got in here? Forever Grin certainly in the house also. We got Matthew making their presence known. What's up, Matthew? Thank you for coming through, man. JB says, what is here? UT Lion coming to us from Twitch today, because we are streaming live not only on our YouTube page but also on Twitch and our Facebook page. Also, we've got Doomsday in the house as well, guys. And I feel like did I miss anybody else? I think I got everybody for the most part. So thank you guys for certainly joining us today. As always, always appreciate your guys' support. And of course, Kyle, what's up, Kyle? Coming through, man. Good to see you. I've been seeing you retweet some of my stuff on Twitter, so thank you very much for your continued support, especially over all the years, man. So thank you very much. But guys, listen, since we split from I don't want to say we split from A-plus opinions. If you guys followed us on A-plus opinions, unfortunately, we did have some issues in having our page taken down. So we decided to go ahead and launch A-plus Morphinominal onto its own YouTube page. So if you haven't subscribed, if you were a subscriber to A-plus opinions and you're not a subscriber here, guys, hit that subscribe button. Again, if you're looking for a new home or an additional home to grow your fandom when it comes to Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, this is the place, guys. So definitely go ahead, smash that subscribe button along with that bell notification. And of course, after we stream live, if you want to go ahead and leave further comments in the comment section box below, please do, so we can go ahead and further this discussion, because our channel just does not grow without your guys' support. So please go ahead and do so. So with that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time to get into the news, shall we? Let's get into this week's information, if you will. First one up comes to us from comicbook.com, ladies and gentlemen. They wind up having an exclusive report earlier on this week to kind of give us further insight into what we can certainly expect from Hasbro's PulseCon, at least when it comes to the Power Ranger side of things. So this comes to us again from comicbook.com. Power Rangers PulseCon panel features Beast Morphers reunion, some Dino Fury news potentially, and more. Now, let me go ahead and jump over here to the actual article itself that we wind up getting. So as a Power Ranger fan, what can you expect from Power Morphicon? So it does say here that Hasbro is giving fans something to look forward to with their first ever Hasbro PulseCon, a complete virtual event that will take place on the Hasbro Pulse YouTube channel. That's very important, guys. So go over to Hasbro Pulse's YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe also if you definitely want to go ahead and watch this event. It says all of Hasbro's beloved franchises will be a part of the event, and that definitely includes Power Rangers, which we can exclusively reveal will take the spotlight for the Power Rangers Entertainment Panel. The panel will feature the cast of Power Rangers Beast Morphers reuniting and sharing stories from the set and more. And the panel will be moderated by Hyperforce Blue himself, Andrew Meadows, most notably known as Black Nerd Comedy, if you will, on YouTube. There will also be new footage and Q&A, but the real scene stealer is the big announcement they have planned, which, as you can see in the tease below, probably involves Dino Fury. So it does say that the panel will include Rory Travis, Jacqueline Sislowski, Jazz Badawalia, Abraham Rodriguez, Colby Strong, and Leona Ramirez. And they do have a description for the panel below as well. A Power Rangers Beast Morphers reunion Q&A is certainly set up in the works here. Now, as far as the con itself, a couple things just so you guys know. Officially, it is 2 days, the 25th and the 26th. But on Tuesday, September 22nd, we will at least be getting a sneak peek. I don't know if that's going to be a full sneak peek at the actual event itself or a sneak peek at just maybe some of the exclusives that it's going to offer. So Hasbro PulseCon kicks off early with a sneak peek on Tuesday, September 22nd. On the 23rd and 24th, it's more exclusives. Wednesday, September 23rd, if you are a Hasbro Premium member, you do get early access to exclusives, convention exclusives, which I would assume are probably going to be like some of the toys, maybe the Lightning Collection stuff. And again, this isn't just for Power Rangers. This convention exclusives is for all their properties that Hasbro has that they have exclusives for. So I'm hoping that it's more than just toys. I'm hoping that it's like either cool prints, cool variant covers, maybe to certainly select from. Maybe you can kind of go on HasbroPulse.com. Maybe they have a list of all the exclusives that they're going to be showing. I'm not quite sure yet. But then on Thursday, September 24th, if you're not a Hasbro Pulse member, then the exclusives for the convention will be available to you. And then, of course, the 25th and the 26th is the actual date of the convention. And I believe the 26th, from everything that I've been reading, September Saturday, the 26th, will in fact be when we get our Beast Morphers Season 2, a reunion panel, I guess you will. I personally am perfectly okay with this group. I know some people were upset that Christina and Cosmo didn't get the opportunity to be here, Ben and Betty. But honestly, if you ask me, I still just kind of see them as supporting characters, which, listen, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, certainly give those two some shine, you know what I mean? But I'm perfectly okay with really just the main characters of the show being present, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be great for Colby and Leona to certainly get reunited once again. And for all of them too. I mean, considering just the fact in the time period in which we live in, where everybody's so socially distant, having to keep, just everything Zoom wise. I'm sure that they probably do maybe some Zoom calls between one another, but I got to think as a virtual event, it's going to be pretty cool to kind of see all of these cast members together. And I'm looking forward to some fantastic stuff here. And when you've got a host as great and wonderful as Andre from Black Nerd Comedy certainly doing it, I just feel like it's got to be gold. It's got to be gold, to be quite honest with you. And then going further back, though, into the article, it says, Unleash the Beast. The cast of Power Rangers Beast Morphers will be reuniting live at PulseCon, sharing their behind-the-scenes stories from the set and talking about life, what life has been like being a Power Ranger. The panel, moderated by Andrew, it says will feature never before seen footage and a live Q&A. So I am kind of curious as to if we're going to be getting ourselves another trailer, if we're going to be getting maybe a potential clip or two of what we can expect from the second half of season 2. Who knows? Maybe it's just some behind the scenes footage of them getting together, being goofy, whatever the case may be. I'm there for it. I'm absolutely there for it. So It looks like it's going to be cool. I'm expecting maybe some blooper reels here, and again, more backstage stuff for sure. And if you ask me, I think that's perfect, especially for this cast. Now, this has been a cast that you guys know I've been a huge fan of. If there has been any cast that I wish would return and come back and reprise their roles, similar to how we had back in the day with MMPR growing with the cast, if there is any cast I wish would certainly stick around, it's definitely going to be them. So just to get the opportunity to see them in some sort of reunion, I think it'll be cool, and to get some more behind the scenes information, and just to see how strong really their relationship has become since becoming Power Rangers. So definitely should be rather fascinating. Now, so that again, September 26th, which is a Saturday. Stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. Now, overall for Hasbro PulseCon, I'm really eager to certainly see what else they're going to give us. Now, I'm a big fan of some of their other properties like Transformers, G.I. Joe. I'm kind of curious if we're going to get more announcements here. Like, for instance, Paramount and Hasbro, I believe, are working on a Snake Eyes movie for G.I. Joe. I honestly would love the opportunity to see if I believe, if I'm not mistaken, filming was wrapped. I believe that they might have filmed wrapping before COVID-19 wind up hitting. I could be wrong, but like for me, if they want to show me a tease of a Snake Eyes movie here, like a teaser trailer, or maybe some new concept art or photos of Snake Eyes, or whatever the case may be, whatever they were going to have plans for G.I. Joe, I'm hoping that we get to see a movie side of of some of these properties. Now, they did say that the Power Ranger panel was going to be entertainment based, so I'm expecting television stuff at least for Power Rangers. I don't know if we're going to get any details on the movie. That might still be pretty early on in its process, but who knows? But something like a G.I. Joe, I would love to see if they have any Snake Eyes footage or anything, any brand new news that they want to go ahead and showcase to us on that front. When it comes to Transformers, I probably expect a ton of exclusive, maybe new toys. Who knows? Maybe brand new comic book reveals by IDW. I'm not quite sure. If anything, no. From some of the things that I have heard, Paramount, again, and Hasbro have two potential Transformers scripts that they're working on. One to potentially be a Bumblebee sequel, and one to possibly be Beast Wars also. So again, if this is Hasbro truly doing their own sort of virtual convention, their first time ever doing something like this, it may be a little bit rocky. Who certainly knows? But why not utilize it as a great way to kind of showcase not just the toy aspect of things that you're known for, but if you are working in live action movies or television, I would hope that maybe we get some further information in regards to that. So on the movie side, maybe some Transformers announcements I would love to personally hear. If not, let me know when the second part of their Transformers trilogy that they have on Netflix is coming out. We had War of Cybertron on Netflix, which I thought was pretty solid, honestly. I don't think it was just stupendous or incredible. I thought it was a pretty solid movie for the most part, but it's like well, I don't want to say movie because it was like a 6-part series. So it is like 6 episodes to the first part, if you will. So I would love to learn a little bit more about part 2 for the War of Cybertron. Maybe an announcement as to when those are going to drop, just something along those lines, just kind of thinking outside of Power Rangers. But I'm really excited for this. I'm really excited to kind of see what Hasbro has plans for some of their IP and hopefully some really, really big announcements that might be coming out of it, to be quite honest with you. So when it comes to Beast Morphers, though, I am expecting at least some brand new clips of what we can expect in the upcoming season, and of course the Q&A stuff and some behind the scenes, maybe even some blooper reels. I'm really looking forward to that. Now, the article itself does go on to mention, guys, that oops, you know what? It does go on to mention here that if that's not enough, we'll be making a historic announcement, or should we say prehistoric. Ranger Nation, if this panel could be summed up in one word, it would be more phenomenal. No pun intended for our YouTube channel name. But yes, I'm expecting this to certainly be more phenomenal on all fronts. And that little tease alone has me thinking that, man, we could potentially be getting our Dino Fury cast reveal officially here. Usually, I'm going to say something here because I feel as though we're so used to how Saban used to do things, right? Um, I feel like as Power Ranger fans, if we've been following this fandom for years, a lot of announcements for upcoming trademarks, upcoming seasons have really kind of dropped like clockwork for a lot of us, right? We kind of already have an idea when to expect certain announcements and things like that. But Hasbro is certainly different than Saban. So I feel like sometimes as a fan, we have to kind of take our mindset of how things were done in the old ways and maybe kind of give Hasbro some extra leash on their chain, if you will, into how they want to kind of start doing things going forward. Because I do expect them to kind of do things significantly different. So usually I feel like when we get ourselves a cast announcement, we usually will get ourselves a further brief summary or synopsis. And not only that, usually a teaser trailer to kind of go along with it. I'm kind of hoping that that's what we get here, that not only do we get ourselves a cast reveal announcement, but that we also get ourselves a teaser trailer. Now, a teaser trailers, I feel like, are usually pretty easy to put together, right? I mean, I feel like even looking back at some of the past teaser trailers, I haven't really noticed them to use original footage. Like I haven't really noticed them to have already been filming whenever they drop these type of teasers. It's usually like a culmination of just Super Sentai footage that's kind of put together as a teaser trailer, if you will, with like just a English dub over, as like a English voice over, if you will. So that's kind of what I'm expecting here. I wouldn't be surprised if we do get ourselves not only a Dino Fury cast announcement, but also an amalgamation or a put together, if you will, of real soldier footage, kind of put together as a Dino Fury tease. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that that's definitely what we'll wind up getting into when it comes to PulseCon. Again, I feel like while it's been really difficult to try and predict when we would get a lot of this stuff, very early on, one of the things that I was saying is people were asking me, Adam, when do you think we're going to get an official announcement? When do you think we're going to see our first look, sort of thing? One of the things that I have been saying is maybe towards the end of September, maybe the end of August, the beginning of September, usually when we get Power Morphicon. But one of the things that I've also added to that is the idea of, if you are going to make a reveal or a big announcement, Hasbro PulseCon feels like this should be where we get it. And the reason why I say that is, and my mindset going into this, and I've been saying this the past couple of weeks, you still have Beast Morphers here, right? You still need people to come back and get excited and watch the product that you have on television. So an announcement like Dino Fury, I feel like, will probably overshadow the return of Beast Morphers. So I would, if anything, I would say let's get maybe a week or two of Beast Morphers sort of out of the way when it comes to episode wise. Once that's moving fluidly, then let's go ahead and drop some information in regards to Dino Fury. And it seems as though that might in fact be the case. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that, again, especially if this is Hasbro's first PulseCon and you want to make a name for yourself, especially when it comes to the fandom, especially when it comes to just people taking notice, you got to utilize this convention with big announcements. Or people are just not going to pay attention or really care, to be quite honest with you. So this will be technically a week after Beast Morphers has returned. So you've gotten your first episode out of the way. People know that the series is in fact back. And then why not go ahead and give us an announcement? So again, just based off of what we hear from comicbook.com, the synopsis of what we can expect, the description of this convention, the fact that they have an announcement that's going to be prehistoric, makes me definitely feel as though it's going to be a Dino Fury cast announcement here. So I'm eager. I'm really, really excited to see just the official announcement and hopefully get our first glimpse teaser trailer wise into Dino Fury. So again, it's probably just going to be real soldier footage just kind of put together with an English voiceover that's going to kind of give us an overall detail of what we can certainly expect from this. You know, new weapons, new swords, new characters, new stories, that kind of stuff. You know how they usually do it. So that's definitely what I'm expecting from Hasbro PulseCon. But I'm excited for this, guys. I truly am. Regardless of how some of you guys might feel about Hasbro, maybe you certainly feel a certain type of way about the Lightning Collection pieces. Again, I'm expecting the Evolution 3 Lord Draken collection piece to be displayed in its beauty here. Again, I'm not a big Lightning Collection fan person, honestly, but that is one figure that I definitely want, that I may in fact be willing to go ahead and drop some money on. So guys, listen, I want to know your levels of excitement when it comes to Hasbro's PulseCon. What are you expecting to see from Beast Morphers Season 2? From this particular cast reunion, are you excited that they get the opportunity to go ahead and finally sit down and have these particular type of panels? Because listen, the viewing globe did have them scheduled to be there last weekend to celebrate Power Morphicon. Because of the fact that we didn't get Power Morphicon, we did get the Illuminderi and Toku Nation and a couple other companies putting together the viewing globe for us last weekend, which again, kudos to Joe and the rest of the team that put that together, man. The amount of work that had to go into just 12-hour-long videos for 3 days, getting all this talent together. They moved oceans, it feels like, if you will, to put something like that together. And while, again, it may not necessarily have been an official Power Ranger convention, it certainly felt like one. And the one thing that I loved, again, I'm gushing on what the viewing globe did, but for me, it just felt so genuine because of the fact that they really jumped into a bunch of YouTube content creators and really gave us an overall look at what everybody in this community certainly does. Now, I don't know if everybody was certainly highlighted, but I do appreciate the viewing globe going above and beyond to try and reach out to people, including myself, to try and make them feel included and have them a part of this particular fandom in general and showcase. And there was something, I don't want to say amateur about it, because it was definitely professionally. I thought it was handled pretty well, but just being able to kind of go from different YouTubers, see the different qualities, see what everybody's bringing. There was like an amateur aspect to it that I really loved, that added like a little bit of extra cheese to it, that added a little bit of extra humor and love and genuineness to it. So we did have the Beast Morphers cast that was supposed to be a part of the viewing globe, but unfortunately last minute, I believe that they announced that they weren't able to, NDA and things like that. One of the things was we were probably assuming that maybe they had something else planned. People were like, I don't understand why Hasbro won't let them talk. This is probably the reason. One is probably Hasbro just covering themselves, right? You just want to make sure that your cast doesn't leak any information, that certain questions don't get asked that maybe you don't want them answering. I mean, listen, they're still technically under contract, I'm pretty sure. So it would make sense. A bummer, but it definitely makes sense. But listen, Hasbro's making up for it. While we couldn't have them at the viewing globe, guess what? We are getting an official panel for Beast Morphers still, regardless. So I'm really excited to certainly see why that is. And again, that's probably why they weren't able to pop up on the viewing globe. So Beast Morphers reunion with the live Q&A, guys, and a historic announcement that I think many are certainly thinking we could be getting the cast for Dino Fury, guys. So definitely let me know your levels of excitement in the comment section box below. Before I continue though, let me jump into this live chat. Let me see who else winds up joining us today. The A Games 10. What's up, man? Appreciate you coming through, the A Games. Always a pleasure, man. Shadow Nova Productions making their presence known. What's up, man? Appreciate you coming through, Shadow Nova, as always. I'm trying to see if that was just all the brand new. We got Gabriel in the house. What's up, Kyle? Gabriel, excuse me. I was just looking at another Kyle comment also. He says, "What's up, Adam? I've always been late to these Facebook lives. I always realize they're up as soon as they're done. Hey, man, it's perfectly okay. We're here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch as well. So if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, Gabriel, you're missing out, man. You're missing out. We got Sexy Boy in the house as always. So thank you very much, AJ, for certainly making your presence known. Also, I believe I got everybody as far as I can tell. Yeah, it looks like I got everybody. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic today. Our next topic today that I definitely want to go ahead and talk about, we have to talk about this potential cast for Dino Fury. This past week, the Illuminderi went ahead and dropped a brand new article highlighting the potential cast for what we're going to be getting when it comes to Dino Fury. Now, the reason why they say potential is because of the fact that they can't make an official announcement, right? Like it's Hasbro that certainly has to make an official announcement. Now, while I certainly am leaning towards the idea that, yeah, I do believe that this is potentially the cast, like Dino Fury, like the Illuminderi is certainly saying, I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be official because things certainly do have the ability to change. We have seen cast members change very much last minute. Ninja Steel is a perfect example of this, where our Yellow Ranger and Chance Sampson was actually replaced by somebody else. And so he didn't get the opportunity, even though he was in the official reveal and announcement of Ninja Steel. So we have seen things change. So I'm assuming that's probably why Illuminderi is simply saying that this is a potential reveal. Now, I'm sure that they're probably closer to sources and know more things than we certainly do. So I am definitely leaning towards the idea that this is our cast, but I'm not going to call them the official cast until Hasbro themselves makes that announcement. So I did want to go ahead and further talk about this because we did do a video earlier on this week talking about the Dino Fury cast in a video maybe a few days ago. If you haven't had the opportunity to check it out, but I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into this particular cast and give my thoughts further on it as I wind up doing a little bit more research on a lot of these actors. So let's just go through the actors that we have so far. Again, this is the potential cast from Dino Fury according to the Illuminderi. So first up, guys, the first person I want to go ahead and highlight here, we've got Kay Moya. Kay Moya looks as though he could potentially be part of the cast. So we'll see what he does there. Secondly, we've got Alexandra Nunez, who has been potentially announced for the cast as well. Next up, we've got Hunter Deno, which could be potentially making her debut as well. We've got Chance Perez, where some of you may recall or be familiar with him. Be familiar with him from the television show Boy Band. And then last but not least, we've got Russell Curry as well, who could potentially be one of the cast members also. Now, while the article itself doesn't give them colors, if you will, as to who they're going to be representing, I did go ahead and take liberty in kind of putting together my own speculation as to who they certainly could be representing. So as of right now, my speculation, the thing that I've talked about in my previous video, if I had to speculate as to what colors they're going to represent, again, this is just me and my speculation here. I've got Alexandra Nunez as the Green Ranger. I've got Kai Moya as the Blue Ranger. I've got Russell Curry as the Black Ranger. I've got Chance Perez as the Red Ranger. And I've got Hunter Deno as the Pink Ranger. Again, that's just simply my speculation. So we'll see what happens with them. But I will say this. I feel very much as though I'm on an island when it comes to my speculations for the color scheme. I feel as though when I'm on Twitter and on social media in general, I feel like a lot of people are maybe switching out Chance and Russell with their colors. I've been seeing a lot of Russell as the Red Ranger and Chance as the Black Ranger. In fact, this actually comes to us from at Listen Anyway, who put together this fantastic team roll call, if you will, with everybody's faces on there, honestly. But I feel like this is probably the consensus of where a lot of people's speculation has led them to in regards to the color scheme. Now, for those of you who are wondering who's gold out here, now, the Illuminderi didn't announce the Gold Ranger. They didn't even put his face on there, to be quite honest with you. When it comes to the Gold Ranger, people just did their Sherlock Holmes impressions. And just went online and kind of did a little bit of detective work themselves and found that all of these cast members are in fact following each other. So this gentleman right here, Jordan Fight, has been speculated to in fact be the upcoming Gold Ranger for the series. Again, I'm saying speculation. He wasn't announced in the Dino Fury cast article. But again, after that particular announcement of the cast members, people did do some further digging and come to find out that all of them are all following here Jordan Fight. So it looks as though we may possibly have our first black sort of Sixth Ranger or Gold Ranger, if you will. So looking really forward to it. So right now, guys, this is the potential lineup here for the cast members. And again, I don't know whether or not color scheme can change. Again, I have been hearing some people say that they feel pretty confident about this color scheme here. So we'll see what happens. Again, when it comes to, I will say this though, for me, when it comes to my speculation for Russell as the Black Ranger and Chance as the Red Ranger, a couple things here. The reason why I feel very heavily about that simply comes down to just the stature of Russell Curry. Russell Curry's like 6'1", if I'm not mistaken. I'm like 5'11 and a half, maybe, you know, if you want to round up, maybe 6 feet. I don't know if Russell is the tallest on here, but just looking back at like just Real Soldier in general, when I look at the Bomba character, Bomba's a pretty tall guy. I feel like he's a pretty thick, like his stature is noticeably different from the rest of the crew when it comes to the Real Soldier cast. Like when you look at just some of the promo work or something like the promo art from Real Soldier, the Black Ranger literally looks like the biggest person there because technically I think he's older than everybody else in the series, if I'm not mistaken. He's an older gentleman, probably not too far off, but he's a pretty big and thick guy, to be honest with you. So when I look at somebody like a Russell Curry who comes in at 6'1", I don't know how tall Chance certainly is, but when I think of stature, when I think of like filling a suit similar to how Bomba certainly did, I kind of think Russell Curry. Now, again, that's just me speculating based off of stature of the Black Ranger from Real Soldier. I don't even know if Hasbro gives an F about something like that, right? I mean, one of the things that I feel like maybe as fans we can be a little bit nitpicky about is that being able to clearly see our particular Ranger, whenever they morph, not being the same height as its Super Sentai counterpart. Sometimes little things like that drive me crazy, right? Like I'll get a Red Ranger live action that's like here, but then once he morphs and we start seeing Super Sentai footage, I'm like, why is the Red Ranger look like he's this tall? You know what I mean? Like just things like that. I don't know if Hasbro even gives an F about trying to match up some, people's stature with what their Super Sentai counterpart looks like, but if they are, I feel like Russell Curry probably could fit that role of the Black Ranger perfectly. When I look at Chance on the other side, Chance, like, and again, maybe this is just me going back to the old Saban days. Look, both of these gentlemen are as handsome as they come, right? Like I can easily see them filling in sort of that leadership role. But I guess if we want to go more cliche Power Rangers like we have over the years, I feel like usually the Red Ranger is kind of like the pretty boy, the chiseled jaw, the great hair, the one that, easily promoted and marketable sort of thing, right? Like, so when I think of something like that, I'm like, Chance feels like he could easily be in that particular role. Again, I think both men will do an incredible job, regardless of who winds up being the Red Ranger. I'm pretty sure Hasbro certainly knows what they're doing when it comes to casting wise. But if you want to go more cliche with what we have had in over the past years for Power Rangers, sometimes I feel as though maybe it's that pretty boy that kind of gets that lead role, if you will, the charming, great looking fellow with the great lock of hair that everybody, you know, and like just that type of a mindset automatically makes me think that maybe Chance is in fact the Red Ranger. But I have no idea. We'll definitely see what it comes down to. But make no mistake, I think both of them would certainly be would work out just well, whoever they certainly decide to at the end of the day. But for me, I that's just pretty much where my feelings and my opinions are in regards to that. When I just see them visually, I just think to myself, man, Russell looks like he's a pretty big guy. I feel like if anybody on that team is going to represent one of the bigger Rangers on their team, I would think it would be Russell as the Black Ranger. But again, we'll definitely see, guys. I also want to talk a little bit more about these characters too, because when it comes to them individually here, let's just go down the list here. So for Kai Moya, the Blue Ranger, when I look him up online, there's really not too much about Kai Moya out there, to be perfectly honest with you. The one thing on his Instagram that I am realizing is that he is a surfer. This guy loves the water, whether it be surfing or just being out the water in general. He seems like he has a love for the water. Anybody that's a surfer has got to be athletic, to be quite honest with you, to be out there each and every day. I can't swim in general, so don't even ask me to get on a surfboard, to be honest with you. But so Kai Moya, I would think if anything, probably surfer and a model, really handsome guy. I feel like for the most part, Kai Moya as the Blue Ranger would probably fit really well. I didn't see any television experience when it comes to somebody like Kai Moya. So we'll see if this is going to be like his first acting role or whatever the case may be. So let's keep an eye on that. Secondly, going in order here, we'll jump around a little bit. Secondly, Alexandra Nunez, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta say, I think she is absolutely breathtaking. As gorgeous as they come, to be honest with you, I'm really eager to see what Alexandra Nunez is going to bring to the table. Right now, the assumption is that she's going to be playing the Green Ranger. If you guys do recall, if you have watched Real Soldier, the Green Ranger in Real Soldier is a guy. Real Soldier is very populated by men. There's literally only one female in the group, which is in fact pink with the skirt, as you can see. But Green is in fact a male. So it does seem as though if this in fact does hold up, if this potential cast does go on to be the cast, it seems as though they're going to be doing a gender swap here for the Green Ranger, from going for from a male character to a female character. So we've got Alexandra Nunez, who could be potentially taking on that role. When you look her up on IG, couple things do stand out to me for Alexandra Nunez. She does have a listing that she's an actress up there. I tried to find her on IMDb. No luck in regards to finding any filmography from her. Maybe she's done some kind of short films. Maybe this is her trying to break into the acting background. Who certainly knows, into the acting field. But the one thing that I will say that really jumped out at me when it comes to Alexandra Nunez, ladies and gentlemen, she's a Muay Thai fighter. She's a Muay Thai fighter, guys. Now, whether or not she actually competes, I'm not quite sure. I don't know if she has like an official record or not. But the fact alone that she studies Muay Thai, whether it be like legit training, whether it be for exercise, she looks like she is ready to compete. Like she's legit learning Muay Thai. I would not, like, if anything, I would want her for backup in an alley with me to beat somebody's ass if it came down to it. Like, I would not want to face off against Alexandra Nunez at all. So she is a Muay Thai fighter. I feel like just from some of the photos and stuff that you see from her on her IG page, I feel like she's got probably the perfect physique for it, honestly. The long legs, long arms. she would beat that ass, guys. She would beat that ass. So I think that's fantastic. Whether or not, the one thing that I love about Power Rangers, especially when it comes to casting, they usually ask you like, hey, even if you don't necessarily have acting experience, right? What sort of like athleticism can you certainly bring to a role? And the fact that we have somebody like Alexandra Nunez who has a history of doing Muay Thai, I think is brilliant. Honestly, pretty breathtaking to certainly watch, and something that I'm really eager to see what she winds up bringing to the screen. Honestly, so if there's anybody that definitely has grabbed my attention, it's definitely Alexandra Nunez, like who again we're speculating could in fact be the Green Ranger. Next up, guys, I do want to talk about Hunter Deno. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Hunter Deno. People that are speculating that she could in fact be the Pink Ranger here. I'm certainly under that assumption as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing what she brings. If there is anybody that does have some acting experience, Hunter Deno is definitely the person. Now, I have tried to, I have gone to her IMDb page for Hunter Deno. And she does have a ton of work on there, whether it be for television series, whether it be for short films. Also, let me see if I can try and bring up. Let me see if I can bring this up here. Hold on one second, guys. Let me bring up her IMDb page for you guys. So I brought this up because she does have a great list. Looks Caesar's Ring she starred in. Trust, she played the lead character, Alicia Tipton, which I'm trying to find some of these movies so that I can watch it. I did see her very brief role in David Makes Man on television series. I believe she just played like a cashier, if I'm not mistaken. But the Behave Kids, Caesar's Ring, and Trust are the three films by her that I want to try and check out. I have not been able to find them anywhere, but they all have release dates. So, and she has 10 credits under her belt when it comes to her filmography. But what really stood out to me, guys, is her action reel. Her action reel, ladies and gentlemen. Getting to see what she can do physically, fight choreography wise. She very much is into gymnastics. She seems like she's incredibly athletic also. I've seen some commercials that she was involved in of her as a cheerleader, doing commercial work for like a cheerleader organization and things like that also. So very much athletic, very much trying to get into fight choreography as well. And yeah, it looks like this is also some of her gymnastics background work also. So Hunter Deno, I feel like, is probably as complete of and probably one of the most complete actors that we definitely do have when it comes to this particular show. So look out for Hunter Deno, ladies and gentlemen. Look out for her, because I do think that she certainly will bring a fantastic element to this particular series for sure. So if anybody certainly jumped out at me, definitely Hunter Deno there. So look out for her stuff. I'm going to continue to try and see if I can find some of her short films, because I personally like to know more about our cast and our characters, right? What are they going to bring to the series? Why is it that Hasbro potentially chose them for these particular roles? And so that's really what I like to highlight and kind of point out to hopefully make us feel a little bit more comfortable with, if this is in fact the cast, the idea of them representing Power Ranger fandom certainly going forward. So I like to see what everybody is really involved in. So Hunter Deno, again, probably one of the more complete actors who has some experience in front of the camera, athletic her own self with her gymnastics background, and her clearly utilizing that for her fight choreography. So that is in fact Hunter Deno, ladies and gentlemen. You know, we'll even talk a little bit about Jordan Fight here. Now, while Jordan Fight wasn't announced, again, this is in fact Jordan Fight, who a lot of people are assuming will in fact be the Gold Ranger here. When it comes to Jordan Fight, he is most notably known for TikTok. If you go over to his TikTok page, even if you go to his IG page, this guy has 1 million followers on TikTok. I love the idea of grabbing somebody that has that type of following. You want the idea of having to draw and bring more eyes over to your series. That definitely has got to be able to help. The fact that he can use his TikTok as his own sort of marketing, if you will, his own promotion for a potential role that he's doing or what he's going to be doing for Power Rangers. I think stuff like that is really powerful and really important, that while they may not necessarily be a recognizable home name, the fact that 1 million people at least know who this gentleman is, I think is important. I do definitely think that it's important. He seems like he's got a pretty good sense of humor for some of his TikToks that I've seen. He's got a great YouTube video also on YouTube of him and his friend playing they were doing some sort of like question trivia with each other, but with like baby powder. Like if you get it wrong, you get slapped like with baby powder across your face. Hilarious stuff. So Jordan Fight certainly seems as though he's going to be bringing maybe a humor aspect to it, a ton of charisma as well, which seems fitting for somebody who is in fact the Sixth Ranger. Again, I don't know if they're holding over. The one thing, again, I think we also have to understand is that when it comes to adaptions, while they are in fact adapting Real Soldier, understand they don't have to necessarily utilize storyline ideas, character ideas, right? A lot of these characters can be their own characters. You know, as much as I push the idea of like Russell Curry being the Black Ranger, it doesn't mean he's got to be that quiet, solitude type guy like a Bomba that keeps to himself. You know what I mean? So personalities can certainly change. They don't necessarily have to match up with the Real Soldier aspect of them. But when it comes to charisma, humor, it seems as though that's probably what Jordan Fight is probably certainly going to go ahead and bring to this group as the Gold Ranger. So again, check out Jordan Fight stuff. I think it's J Fight FITE06 or J Fight 6 on TikTok. So definitely go ahead and check out his stuff if you certainly want to in order to keep up with him. Next up, though, let's talk about Chance. Good old Chance Perez, my cousin from another mother or another grandmother's sister's relative. I don't know. But Chance Perez, most notably known for his time on Boy Band, which was in fact sort of a new singing contest television show. I believe they had the producer Timbaland on there also. There was somebody else, Aaron, was it Nick Aaron something, Aaron Carter, I don't remember, somebody else that was part of a boy band that was on there as well. It had 2 judges. I didn't get the opportunity to see Chance Perez, who's highlighted here in the black costume. Again, I'm still reaching for the idea of him being potentially the leader of this group. But Chance Perez, you can, if you're not familiar with Chance Perez's work, you can find him easily on YouTube because of the fact that he was on television, broadcasts across the world. There are performances of Chance Perez online if you want to go ahead, and whether it be him performing solo, whether it be him with the band. I mean, musically, this guy's really inclined. He certainly has a fantastic voice, plays the instrument. I believe there are a couple of videos that he has of him playing the guitar on his YouTube page also. And a great singer. I believe he's got a young daughter also. So Chance seems as though he's very much inspiring to kind of get into the music business. So yeah, not only is he a musician, he's also a model. And it seems as though this probably is going to be maybe one of his first steps into television, honestly. You know, so again, when I look at Chance, I for some reason I see Red Ranger aspects and vibes from him, honestly, a little bit more than the Black Ranger. But I'm eager to see what he can bring. He's clearly comfortable in front of the camera, been on stage, able to perform. So again, really the biggest question mark will be, being that talented with so many aspects of his life, can that carry over into being a pretty solid actor? Again, I haven't seen him in anything, but I'm really eager to certainly see what he winds up bringing to the table. Again, most notably known for his modeling and his music career. And again, you know, the important thing that we talked about, if you get somebody like a TikTok person who has 1 million followers, you also want somebody that could potentially be recognizable, right? I mean, literally in one of our videos that we just did talking about the cast, somebody was just gushing in our comment section about Chance Perez, how they recognized him from how they followed his career, recognized him from boy band, and like a bunch of heart faces, right? So his followers, his subscribers, and people that believe in him, again, more eyes just on the Power Ranger franchise. He's got like over 200,000 followers on his IG page also. So Chance Perez definitely has a recognizable name for some people out there that might be familiar with him. So again, I think it's important that you grab people that have a presence, that have had a presence on social media, on TV before. So Chance Perez, my personal Red Ranger, but it seems as though a lot of people are assuming that he will in fact be the Black Ranger. We'll see what happens. Again, this is not an official image, guys. Just so you know, this is not an official image. Again, this was put together by at Listen Anyway, based off of the Illuminderi cast reveal that they wind up doing. Last but not least, guys, I talked about the idea of a few people really catching my eye, but as far as overall acting ability, that can maybe bring a ton of different assets to this particular series, Russell Curry is up there also. That takes the cake for me, honestly. Hunter Deno, all around, she seems like she's got what it takes certainly to be a Power Ranger and be great on screen. Russell Curry, to me, feels that same way also. And to go against my own argument on Russell being the Black Ranger, when it comes to Russell Curry, the idea of him being a Red Ranger, the reason why I can see it is because he feels very much like he's a complete person, like a complete actor for this role. He does have movies under his belt, some short films here or there. He even has his own website if you want to go ahead and check out some of his stuff, russellcurry.com. But the gentleman is not only a model, a handsome guy as can be, honestly, a model. He's an actor, and he's a musician. He's a rapper also, an MC, if you will. I heard him spit a couple bars on his YouTube page and even on his IG page, to be quite honest with you. I mean, the guy, I can't put him up there with Eminem. You know what I'm saying? I can't put him up there with Big Sean or some of the big names out there. But he's got a pretty good flow. I definitely would recommend checking out some of his work. Because I did find some of his stuff back from like 2013, 2012. So he's definitely grown over the years. But he also has a lot of directing work behind the camera. Again, I would really check out russellcurry.com because he's got some great sizzle reels, some great stuff showcasing what he's capable of doing. And it seems as though he can do a little bit of everything. Drama. He's got a great sort of sketch comedy on his IG page, IG television. He's got a great sketch comedy for like one of them was how to fake a Star Wars conversation, like how to pretend that you know stuff about Star Wars. Hilarious stuff. He's got a social climate weather team sketch comedy. Hilarious stuff. Also, he also has a series called Foodie, where he plays a chef, like a cooking show, if you will, where he plays a chef that is just so passionate about his food, and not just passionate like he loves to eat and cook food, but passionate about his food. Like the way he describes cooking things and some of the like innuendos and the expressions that he makes when and the noises he makes when he's trying food and cooking, some hilarious stuff. It's like it's like a chef cooking to like classic R&B and soul music, just the smooth tones of Russell Curry while he's cooking. Like, look at this delicious. Like, it's so good. It's so good. The guy is talented. The guy is super talented. He's got great charisma about him, a great look about him. I feel like when he goes into the room, he probably draws the most attention, honestly. Check him out if you get the opportunity to really do a deep dive into Russell Curry's career. So like even though I see Russell Curry very much as a Bamba, just because of his physical stature, if you want your lead actor that's going to represent Power Rangers as the leader in red to be anybody, you probably would want it to be the person that has the most experience, that you're going to get the most out of. And when I look at Russell Curry and I see all the stuff that he's done, I think he's more than capable. I think he's more than capable. I don't really see anything athletic wise on his IG page. I mean, I'm pretty sure he probably played maybe some sports in school or wherever the case may be. But I'm not quite sure athletically what he's currently getting into at the moment. But talent wise, to be an MC rapper, to be a sketch comic, an actor, a model, a director, that takes talent, man. That takes talent. So Russell Curry very much is a very talented gentleman. So I can see, if he is the Red Ranger, I can easily see why he would definitely be. Really, my only case for him being the Black Ranger is the idea of his stature. That I feel like he resembles Bamba in that sense because he's 6'1". He seems like he's a pretty a thick guy for the most part. His stature is pretty built. So it feels like he probably would fit that role to me, with Chance Perez being the Red Ranger. But again, if you want your Red Ranger to be overall able to do anything that you ask him to do, I definitely do think that Russell Curry can take that spot. So we'll see what happens here, guys. I also want to point out Alexandra Nunez. She's a great basketball player too. I did notice she got a great stroke, man. There's a video of her on her IG back at the gym, just kind of shooting some hoops. I saw her make like 5 buckets in a row, like super talented. So not only is she an inspiring actress, but she also studies Muay Thai and is a fantastic basketball player also. I'm wondering if she's going to have any one-on-one battles with any of the crew members out in New Zealand when they get to start filming. I would love to see what else she can kind of do on the basketball court, honestly. But overall, guys, listen, I got to say, there are some, if this is in fact going to be our cast, again, potential cast, while I am definitely leaning towards the idea of this being true, I don't want to sit here and confirm it because it hasn't been officially confirmed. When Hasbro comes out and they say it, then I will call them the official cast, regardless of how I'm certainly leaning. And I think that's how we have to certainly look at it. There's nothing wrong with speculating. There's certainly nothing wrong with talking about it, as long as you're fully aware that, again, this is simply just speculation and things are in fact subject to change. I just don't think that we should get so used to the idea of like, oh, you say this is it? Okay, this has to be it. It cannot change from this point on. No, I think that's ridiculous, honestly. So we'll see what happens here, guys. We'll see if everybody here certainly makes the cut. If they're going to be present in official photos that we'll eventually get, because I am still under the belief that when it comes to Hasbro PulseCon 2020, maybe we'll get our first look at some of these Rangers. So we'll see, guys. We'll see. At the end of the day, though, I want to know your thoughts. Do you think that this potential cast will in fact be the cast? What do you think about some of these character breakdowns? Did you learn a little bit more about some of these actors? Is there anybody in particular that you're really looking forward to see what they're certainly going to bring to the table? Definitely go ahead and let me know your thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below if you're watching us after this particular live stream. So definitely go ahead and let me know your thoughts, guys. Let's see here. Do we have another topic? We do have one more topic. We're going to get into. This particular topic actually came to me via Twitter. This one was from talking a little bit about Entertainment One and really the further development here of Power Rangers, right? Because when it comes to the future of Power Rangers, it's really a big question mark. We still really don't know what's really going to be happening to Power Rangers after Dino Fury. But I did find something interesting that I want to talk a little bit about, because this is kind of something that we've been following for a while now. If you were following us on our previous YouTube page before we branched off into this YouTube page for APlus Morphinominal, we have been talking really highly about the importance of the purchase of Entertainment One by Hasbro, and some of the management decisions, if you will, of who they're bringing on board to further develop stuff for Power Rangers. So this comes to us. I want to talk a little bit about Entertainment One here today, because this comes to us from PowerRanger.com, or Per Ranger, however you want to pronounce their name. It says Hasbro held a conference call hosted by Bank of America. This was actually August 11th, so yesterday this tweet went out. It says, in terms of Power Ranger news, they say not much, but it does say only that E1 is leading creative development and overall brand management. And I do think that's important, because it does showcase to me that Dino Fury now is in different hands than what it certainly used to be. I'm pretty sure Dino Fury is probably going to be a collaboration of both AllSpark and Entertainment One. But I do find it interesting that Dino Fury is now technically under that banner of Entertainment One. I went over to the Wikipedia page and I found something pretty interesting here, and at least interesting for me. But when I look at the production list now, executive producer Simon Bennett, who we are very familiar with in regards to him sort of taking the helm of Power Rangers, him really being the guiding light or guiding force, if you will, of the Power Ranger Dino Fury going forward. We also have Chip Lynn, who is in fact returning. Simon Bennett has come out and said, yes, we are in fact, me and Chip are working closely together to go ahead and bring Dino Fury to you guys. We also have Brian Goldner. I'm not too familiar with Brian Goldner. I have to go back and check out some of his work. But this name popped up to me that I did not expect to see, at least this early. Michael Lombardo. I know people are going to be like, Adam, you're on this Michael Lombardo stuff still. Yeah, I am still on this Michael Lombardo stuff, because of the fact that I'm fully aware as to what he could potentially bring to this series. I want to go ahead and bring this article up again for you guys, because, you know, we've talked about a Michael Lombardo here, and I just want to showcase why this gives me even further excitement for the series than I was before. So now this article again is from June 10th. This is earlier this year. Michael Lombardo named head of global TV at Entertainment One. It says, we couldn't be more thrilled to welcome Michael to the E1 team. His incredibly impressive history of success during his long tenure at HBO resulted in some of the most groundbreaking, iconic television series over the past 2 decades, is what Stephen Bertram said, president of film and television at E1, Entertainment One. He says, a true champion of creative excellence, Michael is the ideal leader to guide our television strategy at a time where audiences are demanding content of the highest level. Now, Michael Lombardo did say here, he says, throughout my career, I have been driven by the passion for great stories. I'm excited to join E1 when we have some of the most beloved brands in the world to inspire our work, in addition to an outstanding talent-rich pipeline built by a team that I very much look forward to working with. So yeah, they've brought Michael Lombardo in to go ahead and do this. It says part of his brief will be developing programming based on Hasbro properties, including Power Rangers, Transformers, and Dungeons and Dragons, along with overseeing the studio's current slate of stuff also. So yeah, guys, Michael Lombardo, who clearly has a passion for creating excellent and great television content, for me, this news of seeing that they're involving Michael Lombardo into a series so early on kind of surprises me. I honestly didn't think that Michael Lombardo would be involved in any way when it comes to Dino Fury. I kind of really expected that maybe after Dino Fury, like whatever route Power Rangers does take, whether that be animated, whether that be a new live action series in the following years or within a couple of years, I thought maybe he would be involved at that time. But the fact that he's already attaching himself to something like Power Rangers Dino Fury really gets me excited. So we've got a great creative mind in Chip Lin. We've got another great creative mind, especially directorial, in Simon Bennett, who has directed some of the best episodes that we have seen in Beast Morphers so far. I feel like a combination of Simon Bennett and Chip Lin is definitely a win for me. And if you're going to tell me that now that Power Rangers is a part of Entertainment One and Michael Lombardo himself has attached himself as an executive producer to this series, somebody who inspires to tell great stories, if anything, I would assume that Michael Lombardo is probably helping push the story aspect, or really pushing maybe some of the creative juices out of Simon Bennett and Chip Lin and maybe some of the rest of the writing team here. So when I look at who's behind Power Rangers Dino Fury, talk about getting me super excited. Now, granted, it still comes down to the writing, right? Will they keep on some of the same writers that we've seen in the past? Can some of these writers that maybe we have been disappointed with in the past, can Hasbro and Entertainment One come in and sort of unleash them of their handcuffs and allow them to tell better stories, or are they not capable of telling better stories, right? That's really what it's going to come down to for me. But the idea that this season is now being focused by a former HBO executive, Michael Lombardo, who has a great sense of what great storytelling is, combined with Chip Lin, who some people out there will say is probably like one of the best producers that we've had, story writers for Power Rangers. Then now with Simon Bennett, some new blood that we've kind of seen given here to Beast Morphers. To some will certainly say some of the, I don't want to say their best season, but a pretty impressive season, a pretty good season for many, honestly, especially those that wind up wrapping up the season already with season 2. If Beast Morphers season 2 can be this good and wrap up really well, to me, it makes me even more fascinated and more excited for what Hasbro is going to do now that they really have their hands on this property and are doing what they certainly want to do, right? Because it could be, because we have to remember here that when it comes to Beast Morphers, this is something that was handed to Hasbro, right? Saban already picked this. So this was kind of something that was handed to them, and Hasbro just sort of did what they could with what the material was that they certainly had. So now this is Hasbro really getting the opportunity to do something on their own terms. And I honestly think when I look just at the executive producers, the people that are putting together this talent, the people that are show running this and really guiding this series, it gives me hope. It definitely gives me hope for what we can certainly see here, guys. But so while, again, it may not have been a ton of news that Hasbro had a conference call, but the idea that Power Rangers is now fully in charge, or E1 is now fully in charge of Power Rangers going forward. We already see that with Michael Lombardo listed as an executive producer. Gives me hope. Definitely gives me hope for what we can certainly see when it comes to Power Rangers in the future, guys. It truly does. But at the end of the day, I definitely want to know your thoughts. Who knows? Maybe you guys really don't care about the idea of Michael Lombardo being attached. But my thing when it comes to this is adding talent is never a bad thing. If you can add people with talent and experience and a proven track record to help push forward one of your franchises and help you come up with great new content, it's got to be a win for me. It's got to be a win for me. So I'm excited for it. And again, I continue to say the purchase of Entertainment One, ladies and gentlemen, should not be ignored at all. Hasbro spent a few $1 billion in order to get that, to own Entertainment One, and for good reason, because Entertainment One does have a ton of capabilities that Hasbro potentially didn't have before in the past. Brand new executives, a ton of new writers, a ton of new just filmmakers in general. Talented people associated with Entertainment One are now helping Hasbro grow their own potential properties. And for me, that's really, really exciting as a Power Ranger fan. But overall, guys, that's going to do it for us today in regards to our news segments and some of our news articles this week. If there's anything in particular that I might have missed, though, news-wise, please go ahead and let me know. I don't know if things are dropping at this particular moment. I believe today might be a bonus day for the viewing globe. I think that's something that I just kind of ran across also. I think they might have already started. So if you want to go ahead and check them out, please go ahead and do so. You know, I did go ahead and submit a trailer to them, but unfortunately, I did not get the opportunity to see if that trailer ever dropped on the viewing globe last weekend. I know they had a ton of content, and I recall asking Joe, like, "Hey, do you recall exactly where you might have put my ad for APlus Morphicon?" I thought it was going to be on Saturday, but he told me that he thought it was going to be on Sunday. So I watched a little bit on Sunday, and I wasn't able to find it. So I'm hoping that it wind up popping up there for you guys. If you've had the opportunity to check it out, please let me know. Like, if you did see it, I honestly would love to know what you guys thought about it. I'm trying to see if I actually saved it. I know I did save it to showcase to you guys, but I'm not quite sure exactly where I put it at. Let me see if I can find it here in my files, because I was kind of so proud of it. When I saw it, I was like, ooh, look at Adam looking all professional. Got his own little trailer and everything. But yeah, I can't find it up here, guys. So I apologize. But anyway, I'll look for it another time so you guys can see it. If anything, maybe I'll put it up on our YouTube page. I might edit it a little bit to kind of take out the viewing globe aspect and just kind of utilize it as our own trailer for our channel. But I'll definitely go ahead and showcase it to you guys if you haven't seen it yet. Dang it, I'm trying to remember where I might have saved it at. My problem is that I got too many damn files. Like, I got too many folders for too many different things. Like, I would have thought, like, I don't even have a Dino Fury folder yet, which is bizarre to me. But I thought I saved it under my Real Soldier. But yeah, I'm not even seeing it in there. Dang it, man. That freaking sucks. Okay, anyway, let me go ahead and jump into the live viewer questions, guys. I'm going to jump into the comments. Oh, you know what? Let me go to the Facebook real quick, because I know some of you guys did submit questions over on the Facebook page. So let me see if I can find those real quick. All comments. Let me see. Johnny Marrero has a question. Johnny does say, "Hey Adam, do you believe that during Hasbro's PulseCon Power Rangers panels, they will reveal the original Rangers like Jason and Billy as mentors?" So we still don't know whether or not we are going to be getting original Rangers as mentors. The Illuminderi did go ahead and drop an article last week that we highlighted at the potential idea that they original Rangers could in fact be coming back. If they are going to be coming back as mentors, I don't believe that they would announce it at Hasbro's PulseCon. Maybe tease at it, but I don't know if we would see somebody like Austin St. John or David Yost actually coming out or being brought in as a part of the virtual con. I think if anything, they'll probably will focus on just the main team and maybe a teaser and a brief synopsis. So we'll see if we even get mentors as a part of the storyline element. Maybe that's something that will be revealed to us in a new plot synopsis or something, but we'll see. But I don't think I probably wouldn't reveal that. If anything, I would probably reveal the actual cast itself first and a teaser trailer. And then as we get closer, maybe hold off that information for other things. Alec also has a question. He says, could Power Rangers develop its own toy company? I've seen people complain about Bandai and Hasbro now, and I think after Toei split, it might be the most logical move since it's such a big franchise that all we need is either get Saban to buy it back so we have a clear boss, then just develop a toy district and bring in Transformers and whatever else that relates to PR and let PR be its own media corporation. So, I don't believe that Power Rangers is going to develop its own toy company. Power Rangers isn't really like a company per se. It's more like an IP. It's more like an intellectual property. It's like, while it is a franchise, it's not like like Power Rangers doesn't necessarily have like the president of Power Rangers. You know what I mean? Like because of the fact that it's just intellectual property that's owned by somebody. I don't see Power Rangers branching off and becoming anything of its own. I mean, Hasbro is a toy company, so it really wouldn't make any sense for Power Rangers to go on and develop its own toy company when it's already being controlled by a toy company, if you will. And still pretty early on, I feel like, in its toy company, and there's definitely going to be hiccups here and there. I definitely do think Hasbro certainly has a learning curve and certainly has to get its feet under itself. Better control quality, clearly. Like, I feel some of the biggest complaints I am hearing are just like the control quality of, as far as like things being not painted right, different colors or whatever the case may be, feeling like incomplete Lightning Peach collection. So I definitely get the pushback for sure. I definitely get the pushback. But I've always thought Hasbro was better at developing toys than most. Thus, probably why they're as big of a name as they are. So give it some time. Give it some time. I think Hasbro will probably maybe go on to start creating other things that people are going to be really, really impressed with. So maybe a rocky start for some people for Lightning Collection pieces. I'm not quite sure. I'm not a big toy collector, but I have heard both positives and negatives of Hasbro in regards to that when it comes to the toy side of things. As far as like Saban buying back this franchise, no, that's the last thing that I want to see. No, Saban is known for being a cheapskate. He's been known for holding, like, honestly, if you ask me, I think Saban is the reason why this series has been held back as much as it has been. The Neo Saban era, if you ask me, has taken 2 or 3 steps back in regards to Power Ranger franchise. I do believe Saban's first line of work was so much better than what we got from the Neo Saban era stuff that I just don't want Saban touching this any longer at all. Whether that means Hasbro is the right home for it is still certainly to be determined. But I can tell you right now, I don't like the idea of Saban coming back at all. I mean, maybe like you say in your thing, so that we have a clear boss. We do have a clear boss. It's Hasbro. And I think if we did a little bit more research, we'll see that probably Michael Lombardo's probably the head of that department now. The president of film and television for Entertainment One, like, they're probably the people that we probably have to start recognizing as the boss and sort of the balance of power, if you will. Simon Bennett and Chip Lynn certainly are no slouch. So I know Saban, the idea of being the clear head, probably makes people feel comfortable, but no. I do feel as though Power Rangers is where it's at because of Saban at this moment. So no, I don't want him touching anything, to be honest with you. Again, I think we have to give Hasbro some time, right? Again, Hasbro picked up Power Rangers in the midst of Saban already having picked its new season and storyline ideas, right? So I feel very much like Hasbro was gifted this and they had to do with it what they can. So when I look at Dino Fury and going forward, this is really where I'm starting to feel now this is Hasbro, right? Like, and honestly, I don't even know if Dino Fury is even going to be the best of what we get from Hasbro, right? Like, I still feel as though Dino Fury will still be Hasbro. I don't want to say going back towards old ways, but doing things the way that we've kind of always known, right? Still using Super Sentai footage, still trying to film around Super Sentai footage. But make no mistake, I do feel as though Dino Fury will still feel like its own thing, but I think Dino Fury will only be a tip of the iceberg as to what Hasbro potentially has plans for the future. Now, whether or not you agree with where they may potentially take the future, we'll certainly see. Again, it's a gigantic question mark. But I think Hasbro's Dino Fury will be just a tip of the iceberg as to the direction in which they're going. But as of Dino Fury, this is where I'm like, this is all on you, Hasbro, right? No more, no excuses at this point in time, right? Like I might, some people may give you a pass on Beast Morphers, but like, hey, you guys, this was handed to you, but now you guys chose Dino Fury. You guys brought in the executive producers. This is your content that you're creating. So let's see what you can bring us. And I think Dino Fury will be a tip of that. But I do think that they still have other plans that they have yet to certainly reveal for the franchise that we haven't been privy to as of yet. So we'll see. But Saban, stay away. Stay away, Saban. All right, let me jump into this comments with you guys. Appreciate you guys being active today. If there's anybody else that's in here, I'll definitely give you guys some shout outs. But let's see what you guys are talking about in this in the live chats here. Let me drink some water while I do this. Blossom says, did you hear about the news involving Karamazor as well as the character songs? Can't wait to hear them, especially Juru's and Mabushina's. Now, I'm not familiar with them having individual like character songs, but I do know that they have a soundtrack out, if I'm not mistaken. Karamazor did go ahead and release a soundtrack a couple, maybe last month, a month or so ago. Maybe it was a couple months ago. I do remember listening to a couple of the tracks. I really do love the music for Karamazor, honestly. So no, I haven't heard about the character songs, but I do know that Karamazor does have like a soundtrack album out already. Blossom says, I so got to check out Saber since it involves books, my favorite. I will say this. I did get the opportunity to watch Saber episode 1. Again, if you guys did miss it, we do have Kamen Rider Saber reviews on APlus Morphinominal now. That's right, guys. We're branching out a little bit more to our tokusatsu fandom. And we're finally bringing some Kamen Rider stuff. A lot of people have been asking us, since we do a lot of Super Sentai and Power Rangers, will we ever dabble in Kamen Rider? And we have. So episode 1's review by Stuart is on our page. Great review by him also. I definitely recommend checking it out. As for myself, I didn't mind the first episode. It was okay. I don't want to say I was expecting a bigger punch in my face, but it was just okay to me. It's definitely a series I'm definitely going to give it a shot. I'm probably going to watch it all the way through. But the book aspect does fascinate me. I love the fact that our main character is a book owner, a bookstore owner, loves books himself, very passionate about the idea of books, and he has every right to be. I feel like I love the idea that they're taking the idea of stories and fairy tales and books and using that as sort of its main theme, and really striving to maybe be a push for people that like, hey, we spend so much time on social media and on our internets. When's the last time anybody actually picked up a book and read? I mean, the levels of intelligence and knowledge that you can gain from books is incredible. There's a reason why they say reading is fundamental, because it does help us grow as people in the long run. So I think it's pretty neat that they're utilizing Saber as a way to promote the idea of getting back to reading books again. And if we get the opportunity to jump back into some fairy tale lands like Jack and the Beanstalk or whatever the case may be, I'm definitely going to be there for it for sure. The action looked great. Special effects look great. There is, I can kind of tell maybe some of the, like upgrades in technology, if you will, for some of the action pieces. Some hit, some miss for me. I kind of almost want to see it even on better quality. I watched it on 720, if I'm not mistaken, on like Kiss Asian. I may even go back and rewatch it a little bit, because some of the special effects look great, some of it not so much for me. But I am intrigued, at least, by the storyline. The flame sword predecessor wind up popping in up in here in the very first episode. We're starting to see that the main character does have some sort of connection already built into maybe the past when it comes to Kamen Rider aspect of things. So I'm eager to see where it's going to go. Not sure how I feel about the idea of there being a narrator. I will be interested to see how involved the narrator is going to be. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to rewatch Saber episode 1. But for me, it was okay. it was okay. It didn't blow me away like Zero One's premiere did, but it definitely was okay to me. So I'm gonna give it another shot. UT Line says, DC fandom is right now. Yeah, it's going to be 24 hours all day. If I'm not mistaken, I don't even believe that there's a time schedule. I believe it's like, I don't even like, I think it's just all the panels are there and you just pick and choose whatever you want to certainly watch. So I figured this stuff will still be there when I'm done with this show. So we're probably going to be doing some videos on our Facebook page also. And also today, guys, this is a little bit off topic, but APlus Hero Report has in fact established its own YouTube page also. The one thing when we started APlus Opinions, we really wanted to make APlus Opinions sort of as a hub, a home where all of nerd pop culture can sort of reside, right? Like that was the point of APlus Opinions. We wanted to be able to have different types of fandoms all located in one particular place, where if you wanted to get your news for a little bit of everything that dabbles in nerd pop culture, APlus Opinions is the place for it. And so that's really what inspired our YouTube page. But after everything that kind of happened, we did decide, I personally decided that, look, APlus Morphinominal, I think, could probably do really great on its own. So I wouldn't mind having a YouTube channel for that, for just tokusatsu and Power Ranger community stuff. But I've really loved doing APlus Hero Report, which is where we dabble into Marvel, DC, television, and movies. And we had that highlighted on APlus Opinions YouTube page and on our Facebook page also. But we decided recently, since we couldn't bring back APlus Opinions YouTube-wise, why not launch APlus Hero Report? So as of today, later on this afternoon, we will be launching off APlus Hero Report. So if you guys want to go ahead and try and find us on YouTube, you certainly can. It's very much like APlus Morphinominal, how that's broken down, APlus Hero Reports. So go ahead and try and find us if you want to be kept up with all the news when it comes to Marvel, DC, television, and movies. Because not only will we have a live show this upcoming Sunday, tomorrow for you guys, but we're also going to be dropping content on there today as well, probably in regards to some DC fandom stuff. But the point is that we have managed to now branch off APlus Morphinominal and APlus Hero Report into their own established YouTube channels and entities. And we still have our APlus Opinions Facebook page, which is now where we're sort of creating a hub for all of that content. Because if you do follow us on our Facebook page, APlus Opinions, every day we're posting brand new news to keep you updated in regards to everything not pop culture. So and in regards to everything nerd pop culture, including video game stuff as well, memes, artwork, posters, Marvel stuff, DC stuff, Power Ranger stuff. It's all located there on our Facebook page, to the point to where I am now going to be considering the idea of getting an APlus Opinions website. I would love to be able to put together an APlus Opinions website so that then we can officially have our own page and our own hub where all of our stuff from APlus Morphinominal, Hero Report, our video game live streams, where all that stuff, news, articles, maybe some blogs, where all that can truly be a hub for everything, where everything certainly still continues to connect. Because like the MCU, if it's got APlus in front of it, it is definitely all connected, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm really eager. I was really upset and bummed about the idea of what happened to APlus Opinions, but maybe it was a blessing in disguise, honestly, to give us new life and new ideas and to branch off and do something different. Because when it comes to APlus Opinions, while I loved what I did with APlus Opinions, I feel like my biggest criticism for myself is maybe the name choice, right? Like when you hear APlus Opinions, you don't really necessarily think, oh, they talk about nerd pop culture stuff, right? So I definitely felt like maybe it was a little bit of a deterrent from some people to come to our YouTube page. Maybe that was why growth was a little bit slow until they actually saw our content. So I think that's another reason why we wanted to separate APlus Morphinominal A Plus Hero Report, give them really our 2 weekly shows, sort of their own format, an own place where they can be placed at, help them grow, but make sure that everybody certainly knows. Again, that's why we ask you to follow us on social media at A Plus Opinions, because that is in fact the hub for everything when it comes to our nerd pop culture stuff that we talk about. So if you were following us for like Batwoman reviews, Black Lightning reviews, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, right? They all had that A Plus Opinions logo on it. Now going forward, you will see A Plus Hero Report as their logo. We're going to be putting all that stuff on our A Plus Hero Report page. So I'm eager, guys. I'm eager to certainly launch that later on this afternoon. So if you want to get a head start and subscribe to A Plus Hero Report, definitely go ahead and find us on YouTube. And yeah, guys, yeah, big things are certainly happening. Big things are certainly happening. So yeah, I went a little bit of a tangent there. Sorry. Johnny Morero says, I'm still calling it original Rangers return for Dino Fury as mentors. I hope so. I hope so. You know, we've been talking highly about the idea. Like, I would love to see David Yost come back as Billy. You know, he's talked very passionately about the idea of wanting to return, that he could work with his union to do a non-union show in Power Rangers. Whether or not he feels comfortable traveling during this time, I feel like if there is any safe place in the world, it's probably New Zealand. But I would love to see it. I really would love to see it. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. The A Games 10 says PulseCon's Beast Morphers panel is basically a virtual Power Morphicon panel. I mean, yeah, potentially, but listen, I'm not complaining, right? Hasbro's providing content for its Ranger fans, so you know, even if it is basically a virtual Power Morphicon panel, kudos to them for actually doing one. You know what I mean? So I'll definitely support it. Let's see here. You also say it's Andre Meadows. Did I say Andrew? He says Andrew. I didn't mean to say Andrew. I've met Andre for sure. I absolutely love the guy. So my bad. Let's see here. Shadow Nova says, I think they'll do the passing the torch with Beast Morphers and Dino Fury cast. That would be cool. That would be cool. I would be completely up for it. Now, I'm kind of curious, like when you say passing the torch, you know, like when it comes to Super Sentai, they do a really great thing where it's like just the Red Rangers, and it's usually one Red Ranger from one show going over and like high-fiving or hugging or putting his shoulder on, like passing the torch ready for the next Red Ranger, and he's like, yeah, and they start things like that, and they start the series. I'm kind of curious if that's what you're referring to, or if like they're legit gonna show up in the, you think that they'll kind of like legit show up in the show and pass it on. I would be fascinated with that too. Shadow Nova. Like for me, I would love just to see a Dino Fury and Beast Morphers team up. If we can get an episode like that, I would love it. Forever Grin says it shouldn't have to change, but they need to announce the team first before the mentors, because it's more about the team first. The mentors are cool afterthought. Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm kind of leaning towards. The idea, like if they are going to reveal anything, probably just the cast, maybe a brief teaser trailer, but I think that's about it. I think you don't show all your cards right away. Maybe hint at the idea of mentors, say like in a synopsis or a plot summary, right? But maybe just don't reveal who exactly you're bringing back. So we'll see though. I do think that the announcement should focus though, at least on the cast, and maybe some footage. Kyle says, I really hope the extra footage will maybe have a morph with Blaze and Roxy as the Red and Yellow Rangers. Possible. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. Doomsday says, I'm really interested in this reunion because it's usually just the Rangers doing this, but this time it's the Rangers and the villains. That is fascinating to me too. Again, it feels like they're bringing in at least the main cast for the show, which should be interesting. Like I would love to see if Jacqueline and Liana dive a little bit deeper into the Yellow Ranger aspect of things. You know, the fact that she had initially came on board to be a Yellow Ranger, or like auditioned, I should say, and Jacqueline wound up getting the role. I would love to see them talk a little bit more about that. Jared, what's up, Jared? Appreciate you coming through. Jared says, plus there are new episodes from Transformers Cyberverse. I'm assuming talking a little bit more about what Hasbro's PulseCon could also offer us. I'm glad you brought that up, Jared, for sure. Hopefully they'll announce some of those or at least some future ideas that they're certainly doing when it comes to Transformers. Again, one of the things I would love to see would be like an official announcement as to the release date of part 2 of Transformers War on Cybertron, the trilogy over on Netflix, which I really recommend you guys check out if you haven't had a chance to. Shadow Nova says, glad this takes place on my birthday on the 25th for Hasbro PulseCon. Early happy birthday, Shadow Nova. And yeah, Forever Grin's got one coming up here too this month. Kyle says, do you think they will be in suits, Adam? For the announcement, yes. I'm feeling suits. I'm feeling suits, maybe no helmets. Maybe suits, helmet under the arm, maybe even some suits and posing with like a sword or something like that. Outside of the suit photos as well. I would love to see that. Like, give me a team photo in the suits, but maybe no helmet. Yeah, I would be down for that. Like, even if they like literally, even if they went ahead and announced it, like if you know what would be hilarious to me, which would be absolutely hilarious, is if they utilize the same image. Like if they just utilize the same image that we got from Listen Anyway, I'd be like, oh, that's our promo photo. They just literally Photoshop people's heads onto. Okay, like I hope it's not that. Like I hope it's a more dynamic shot, if you will. I hope it's not just them sitting around. Like I really would love to see them like posing and things like that. But action shots, you know, action shots are important. It's so funny when I go to conventions. And here's a tip for cosplayers too. Here's a tip for cosplayers, especially if you're new into cosplaying. While I'm not a cosplayer, as somebody that photographs cosplayers for photo galleries, I love action shots. If somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, can I take your picture? I love your costume." Give them an action shot. Don't just stand there. You know, don't just stand there and a little. No. Give me an action shot. If you're cosplaying as a character, I want to see you 100% into these roles. And I just feel like presentation wise, it always looks great. So I would love to see an action shot instead of people just like, you know, that maybe that's just me though. AJ, long questions, man. You and your question. My live viewer question: what surprises you want to see when Dino Fury is aired? Do you think we'll get better writers for Dino Fury so it really does feel like a new era, especially since Simon Bennett is now taking over the entire production? Just like Beast Boy, do you think some of the weapons and props like Morphers will be slightly different than the Sentai versions? I actually hope that the props and stuff and the weapons are exactly the same. I really did love the turning of the skeleton or the dino head on the. I thought that was a pretty cool shot. I think it's I'm a fan of it. I do like the props. So I'm pretty sure that they'll add something original just because you want to make your own toy content. but why not? I do want them to stay. What past villain or ally would you like to come back in future Power Rangers? Okay, well, I'm not gonna. There's so many questions. What surprise do you want to see when Dino Fury is aired? A lot more original footage than I think people are probably even expecting. I would love to see that. Definitely some mentors, some familiar faces. Even not necessarily even from MMPR, but just other past Dino series. Also, I would love to see them highlighted. Do I think we'll get better writers? I don't think we're going to get all new writers, but I wouldn't mind the addition of at least one new writer in there. Again, I would be fascinated to see, like, are the stories that we got because of the fact that Saban tied people's hands together in regards to their creativity, not really allowing them to do what they certainly wanted to? Can they rebound with something like Dino Fury? Is Hasbro going to allow them to tell better stories? I don't know where the lack of creativity is coming from when it comes to the past writers, right? Like, I don't know if that's just their talent, or if they're just like, I don't know if they're just not talented enough, or if it has a lot to do with the idea of Saban in past seasons and what he was allowing them to do and not to do. So I have a feeling that we'll probably see some of the same writers, but maybe throw in some new blood. I honestly wouldn't be opposed to some new blood, some new ideas. And I think even though Simon Bennett, and again, even though Simon Bennett is a director and a showrunner, understand that, like, the stories that they come out with will probably be Simon Bennett's. Wouldn't be surprised if the story that overall that they come up with is from the mind of Chip Lynn, Simon Bennett, maybe some influences from Michael Lombardo's, some suggestions. But I do feel like the route of Dino Fury will go through Simon Bennett and Chip Lynn, and then they'll have writers pretty much trying to tell their story over the next few however many episodes that we wind up getting. So we'll see if they can deliver. We'll see if they can deliver, guys. Matthew says, sounds like Hasbro PulseCon will be great. I'm hoping that it does. I'm hoping that it does. Some of these virtual conventions have left me wanting more. I thought DC Fandom did a fantastic job. San Diego Comic-Con's one pretty lackluster, if you ask me. I thought the Viewing Globe did a tremendous job with what they were certainly what was certainly available to them. I thought they did a wonderful job. I'm trying to think of some other conventions. They had a Justice Con, I think, for like Justice League. That was okay. So I'm hoping with a company like Hasbro that they're putting some love and attention towards this. They haven't really released the schedule yet, so I don't really know all that's going to be talked about. But we'll see. I'm hoping as we get closer, we do have ourselves a schedule. But I am excited for it. I want to see some big announcements from Hasbro. Like, I really want to see them give us a bigger outlook as to where they would like their franchises and just their business to go. Further talk about maybe what in their edition of Entertainment One is going to help provide them to do. But we'll see. In the time period that we're living in right now with the pandemic, it does make me wonder if they'll hold off on certain announcements until they're fully know for sure that they're able to pull off some of this stuff. Sexy Boy, also known as Asia, says, Dear Simon and Hasbro, please make the Asian guy the Red Ranger. Power Rangers is all about respect and diversity. It certainly is. And that's the one thing that I love about this particular fandom. Listen, guys, if you feel a certain way about inclusion and diversity, maybe Power Rangers isn't a fandom for you. I feel like ever since I was a kid, Power Rangers has always pushed that envelope of inclusion and diversity. And it's been like that for the past 25 plus years and doesn't plan on changing anytime soon. So, like, for me, I would assume that if you came into Power Rangers, you certainly had a very good understanding as to what Power Rangers represents. So if the idea of certain diversities or certain sexual orientations as certain colors or leaders or whatever, if that kind of stuff bothers you, Power Rangers is certainly not the brand for you, for sure. So yeah, Hasbro, I feel like is doing a great job though in regards to respect and diversity. Regardless if we get ourselves an Asian guy as the Red Ranger, we'll see. We'll see what everybody lands though when it comes to their respective colors. Also, Russell Curry, let me go ahead and pull him up here. Good old Russell Curry. In one of his interviews that I read, the interviewer asked him, "So what exactly are you? Like, what are you mixed with?" And Hasbro, Russell Curry, like myself, gets asked this question all the time. Like, what race are you? Right? Because for some people, it's hard to pinpoint. He's actually mixed. He's mixed. He's a third black, a third white, and a third Japanese. I believe he said that his mom, I believe, is black and white, and his father is black, white, and Japanese also. So if you're wondering like where he gets just that handsome look of his, that's probably where it comes from. Just so you guys are kind of aware. So yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. Sexy boy, who winds up becoming the Red Ranger there. Forever Grand says, I'm hoping that Chance Perez is a Black Ranger. If the I'm hoping Chance Perez is the Black Ranger if the green is female, because those characters look like they can be in a relationship. I'm glad you brought this up, Forever Grand, because I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys here. For a while, I was sitting here thinking to myself, why is everybody choosing Chance as the Black Ranger? Like, I get the idea that like Chance Perez, Alexandra Nunez, like maybe people just assume that because of the fact that they're maybe both Hispanic, they're probably going to be representing like brothers and sisters, so they've got to be connected. I like just making that assumption. Like, I'm like, is that why people are really pushing this idea for Chance Perez? So Forever Grant, I'm glad that you brought up the idea of like maybe them being in a relationship, right? That's definitely possible. They definitely have the looks to pull it off, right? Race aside, I mean, they're both two breathtakingly gorgeous people. They would just make really one sexy couple, honestly. So possibly, who knows? We don't really know what the relationships are going to be like yet, right? I mean, Real Soldier footage wise, I can easily see them still utilizing maybe the idea of like the 3 Rangers together and the 2 Rangers together, green and black, and then red, blue, and pink. So we'll see. So I think people are automatically trying to pair up, if you will, the black and green Ranger, but we don't know how they're going to be utilized yet, right? They could be stepbrothers. They could be like step siblings, if you will, right? Separated at birth, 2 different relatives, two different mothers, or same father, 2 different, maybe different parents, or whatever the case may be. So the possibilities are there. Like, so for me, I'm not necessarily placing them where I feel that they should fit under my assumption of like how Real Soldier is even going to be adapted. I again, really my push for Russell Curry as the Black Ranger was just his stature alone, because he feels like he's the bigger of the stature, the thicker of all the guys, the tallest one in that group, and that feels like that represents the Black Ranger to me a little bit more. I was just laughing because I was like, why is everybody thinking that Russell is the Red Ranger and Chance is the Black Ranger? Is it because they're 2 Hispanics, so they just think, oh, they've got to be related somehow? Who knows? Like, I have no idea, but we'll see what the color scheme winds up being. I feel like this is probably going to be the color scheme for everybody. But I'm still keeping my fingers crossed and hoping that Alexandra will be green, Kai will be blue, Russell will be black, Chance will be red, and Hunter will be pink. But again, we'll see. we'll see what happens, guys. We'll see what happens there. Oh, did I miss my? Let's make sure I got everything. Okay, cool. So make sure I'm back on my my comments list here. Just trying to pick out some stuff. If you guys hear dogs barking out there, I apologize. They people are taking their dogs for walks right now. Let's see here. Sexy Boy says female green for Dino Fury. Forever Green says, yeah, that's what most YouTubers are saying. Ranger Liz, Adam, and Japan may think it's going to be female. That's kind of where I'm leaning towards. Pink's already got the skirt. I feel like Hunter, I don't know. Who knows? Hunter could probably be green. Maybe Alexandra will wind up being pink. Who certainly knows? But yeah, I'm definitely thinking, I'm feeling like there's definitely going to be a gender swap somewhere, though. I'm definitely thinking there's going to be a gender swap somewhere. And if it were to make sense to me, it would probably be the Green Ranger. But who knows? Sexy Boy says, but green is clearly a guy. They can. I mean, hey, yellow was clearly a guy, and Mighty Morphin's Super Sentai counterpart also, and they did a gender swap also. I mean, you gotta think outside the box here, AJ. Boobs don't make somebody. I did want to scroll down real quick because Lupin Green. Where did you put this at, Lupin Green? You said Chance Perez posted a while ago that he had a big announcement coming soon with a black heart emoji. So that's where everyone got him as a Black Ranger. Oh, from just a one black heart emoji. Man, if that's what we're going based off, guys. I mean, but who knows? Listen, I mean, I probably would have looked at that the same way too. So we'll see, man. I'm really pushing for Chance for as red, but again, a couple things. Again, I almost made an argument against myself, like the idea of Russell Curry being the Red Ranger. Like if you wanted to make anybody the Red Ranger, I could see how it would be Russell, considering just how talented the guy is and everything that he's capable of doing. Again, from being an MC rapper to being a director to doing modeling to be an actor as well, in regards to some of his own sketch comedy that he's done, some of his short films that he's kind of been a part of as well. It would definitely make sense. Again, I'm not going to be butthurt about who they make whatever color. I was just simply making a speculation for myself as to stature wise, who I felt maybe fit accordingly. So we'll see if that black heart emoji goes a long way in actually showcasing that's the color that he's going to be. Who certainly knows? Maybe he's just a black heart type of guy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Chance just has a dark soul. Tony Robinson coming through. What's up? Appreciate you coming through, Tony. Oh man, I can't believe they just did that. They literally just removed half of these comments. I was like literally just following it, like it just jumped on me and removed half of these comments. So let's see here, 1250. Doomsday says, I think red and pink will be dating because in Real Soldier, Red and Asuna Pink were always there for each other in battle. Possible. We don't really know how much is going to be. We don't know exactly how much storyline wise they're going to be bringing over. Shadow Nova says, I think Russell has the commanding presence that a Red Ranger needs, to be honest. I definitely would agree with you there, Shadow Nova. I definitely would agree with you there. You know, one of the things that we just talked about was the idea, like, when I feel like when Russell probably walks into the room, he probably is like the center of attention there. Very charismatic. Doesn't seem like he's got an issue when it comes to talking with people. You know, Forever Green even says Chance Perez is pretty quiet. So we'll see. I can easily see both of these guys being Red Rangers. But I can see why Hasbro would pick Russell to be a Red Ranger for sure. Yeah, I will say this: if there's anything surprising about Russell Curry that did surprise me, I watched an interview with him from back in 2013, a very brief interview, but he talked about the idea. He said, "My 25th birthday was just last year." He turned 25 in 2012. This guy is easily in his early 30s at this point. Um, so maybe definitely the experience there. He doesn't look like, when I look at him, I don't think he's in his 30s at all, man. I think the fact that he's mixed really has helped. What do we say? Black don't crack, right? That's People always ask me all the time, like, Adam, why you don't look like you're 37, especially like when I'm all like faded out and I got a fresh cut and stuff, or especially even when I shave. Most people don't even think that I'm 37 years old, but it's like, hey, it's in the genes, baby. You know what they say, black don't crack. So that's I feel like that's probably the same way for Russell, man. The guy is looking great in his early 30s. So it will be for me, again, I think the idea that he's in his early 30s, I'm like trying to think to myself, like, is this guy going to be representing a high schooler still? I mean, he probably got the look for it, honestly. Is he going to be like a teacher? Like I'm kind of wondering, like, what, like, are we getting high schoolers? Like, what's the deal here? What's the deal here? Somebody tell me. AJ says it's still confusing me how they show Green Ranger being girl in US footage and matching Sentai. They did it for MMPR. Forever Grant says Chance Perez might be the best for Black Ranger in my mind. If you've seen it, was a Black Real Soul quiet? He was, but again, I think it's also important to understand here that it doesn't mean that that's how the US characters have to be. Okay. Because we're getting original footage here for our characters, not in costume. When they're in a costume, it doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't really matter. Um, the only reason for me that I was pushing for Russell was the idea of his stature, the idea of going from, say, like, if Russell is taller than Chance and they go to morph and all of a sudden the Black Ranger is taller than the Red Ranger. Like, for me, just little things like that, not like little things like that, just irk me. The idea of not paying attention to who your Super Sentai counterparts are. Again, that could be something that Hasbro doesn't give an F about. They could just not give an F about. But if Russell's taller than Chance, but yet when they morph, the Black Ranger is taller than the Red Ranger, it's going to feel a little bit odd to me. To me. But that's really the only argument that I have about the idea of Russell being Black Ranger and Chance being the Red Ranger. If I look at it from a pure talent perspective and who probably really captures the attention, it's probably Russell. But when it comes to Chance, as Red as I was speculating, it's pretty much probably just goes off of his looks. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what I was going off of. But you're probably right, for Evergreen. If that format holds up, I'm not gonna have any complaints about it. I'm not. I can easily see the Red Ranger and the Black Ranger being either of those guys. I really could. Sexy Boy says, I still don't see a Michael Lombardo's importance to the show whatsoever. Talked to Adam about this before. As long as we have the same two writers, Becca and Arlen, don't see anything with Michael Lombardo actually having an impact on the actual Power Rangers series. Well, listen, when it comes to the idea of executive writer or executive producer, before the writers even touch it, you gotta pitch a story, right? You gotta pitch an idea for a story. And if Michael Lombardo is in fact attached to this, he's probably had to give the green light on the direction in which Dino Fury is going to go. He's probably had to have some really serious conversations with Simon Bennett and Chip Lynn in regards to what type of television show are they going to be putting together. How are you pushing the franchise? How are you pushing the envelope? What is it different that you're going to be making, right? So they have to come to Michael Lombardo first and foremost with this idea and concept, and Michael Lombardo's got to help them have that vision that they have come to the page. Now, granted, the two writers, Becca and Alwyn, will certainly play a role because, again, if they come back, but they have to also utilize the vision that Simon, Chip, and Michael have put together for this series and put it to paper. So Michael Lombardo's importance comes in the idea of, if the series probably isn't good enough or feels like, hey, maybe we should take this in a different direction, Michael Lombardo's input certainly is very much welcome and a big voice when it comes to Power Rangers going forward. So the idea and the concept of what Dino Fury will be is very much important to who Michael Lombardo is, along with Simon Bennett and Chip Lynn. It's the execution of that with the writers that will show whether or not the plans that Michael Lombardo and the rest of the executive producers have in plan for this series will actually come to fruition the correct way. If there are other Power Ranger projects out there that aren't attached to Dino Fury, they have to go through Michael Lombardo. Michael Lombardo has to give the thumbs up and understanding the story and seeing whether or not this is a good direction for the franchise as a whole. So make no mistake, while you may not understand Michael Lombardo's importance, he does have a significant importance for Power Rangers, because he is in fact the one going to be calling the shots as to what we're going to be seeing on television. Okay. So just to kind of clarify that a little bit, and maybe that doesn't have importance to you. Maybe you're just a visual person. Maybe, like me, who comes from mostly a fandom of television and movies, where I've kind of been into movie podcasts and learning about movie and TV productions over the years, like understanding the roles of like executive producers and the people behind the scenes and how they make these shows important to us. Maybe just because that's the realm that I kind of come in. So I have a different viewpoint a little bit on how they go about making the decisions and making the sort of the television shows. For some people, that kind of stuff is boring and they don't want to take the time out to understand how these people play a role in the fandom that you certainly know and love. You may just, hey, whoever's putting stuff on TV, as long as I'm watching and I know who the writer and director is, that's all that matters to me. But make no mistake, those writers and directors have people that they have to certainly talk to and get the thumbs up from and confirmation for. And Michael Lombardo is one of those guys. So there definitely is some importance there, whether or not you care to know. So just so you guys know. Kyle also says it will be very interesting to see how E1, the distributor, will be involved in the production. Maybe it's more of a consultancy role. If anything, they probably are also maybe providing them with better distribution, better quality production staff that can that knows how to put television shows and things like that together. Um, so yeah, maybe in a consultancy role. But I feel like they're also going to be ones developing new content in the future. So not just consultancy, but also helping form and bring in people to, whether they be writers or directors or producers. They're really going to be putting people into place to develop a lot of new content that comes our way, and usually we'll have sort of a creative idea as to not necessarily maybe like storyline wise, um, but definitely at least putting all the pieces together to make it a successful show for sure. Sexy Boy says we still have Brian Goldner as one of the creators. He's been hated on for giving us Samurai Megaforce and Ninja Steel. Uh-oh, yeah, I did see that about Brian Goldner. I was like, what has he been attached to before? I'm like, okay, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, Brian Goldner is definitely on a short leash. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he is. L'Oreal says, I'm all for the best when it comes to storytelling. I am a writer after all, but still kind of worried. Hey, I get it. Anytime you go into a brand new series, certainly worthy of being a little bit nervous. You definitely want a series that you franchise you know and love to certainly succeed. So we'll see how Dino Fury holds up though. Sexy Boy says, I'll probably wait till Dino Fury gets on Netflix in a year, then season 2, knowing the show's still on Nickelodeon. We will still be getting hiatuses. Trust me, AJ, you say that, but you'll be watching. You'll be watching right along with us when Dino Fury winds up debuting, man. Matthew says, I've already been loving Beast Morphers, and it'll be interesting to see how Dino Fury will be as Hasbro's first try at Power Rangers. And you know, for me, I would say if you loved Beast Morphers, then you should be excited for Dino Fury, because if that's how Hasbro handles a series that was handed to them, imagine what Hasbro could potentially do when they actually have it all to themselves. Hopefully maybe being able to be a little bit more creative and do some things outside the box that we're so accustomed to as Power Ranger fans. So I think if anything, I'm hoping big things. Hey, Forever Grin says, I'm waiting for Netflix now. I'm not watching live anymore. Man, that's a bummer, guys. I wish you guys certainly would watch live. No complainings about ratings being low then, you know. But listen, I know some people don't watch television shows live and they wait for it to come out on Netflix. Like I know people, especially when it comes to the CW shows, that won't watch the series all season long, and they'll wait for it to be released and then just kind of binge the season. So yeah, to each their own, man. However, that certainly works for you. Oh, Johnny Marrero says, hey, Adam, do you believe that Dino Fury will have 44 episodes for one full season for next year, or 22 episodes? Because honestly, I don't think Power Rangers can tell a full story with 22 episodes. Man, that's tough. The thing about Dino Real Soldier was that it was 44 episodes of just brand new toys. They had so many power-ups, it was ridiculous. More power-ups than villains, honestly, I feel like. It's one of those things where I feel like you could utilize Dino Fury in 22 episodes, honestly. Just based off of the lack of story that happened in Dino Fury, in Real Soldier. But the only problem with that is that there's so many power-ups. right? And it's one of those things where it's like, is every episode gonna be like, if we do 22 episodes, is every episode gonna be, hey, here's a new toy, hey, here's a new power up? You know what I mean? So man, I don't really know. Contract ends what, the end of 2021. So I think that's why everybody's assuming maybe just one season. That's a good question, Johnny. If I had to guess, I still say give us 44 episodes for one full season. Now, whether or not that means no hiatus and you tell that completely through until the end of 2021, I couldn't tell you, man. I couldn't tell you. You know what? It is fascinating to me. I go back to this every once in a while. I remember that Illuminderi article when they did announce Real Soldier being adapted as the next Power Ranger series. And I remember in the article, one thing that really jumped out to me that I thought was maybe a typo, that to this day, I'm still wondering if it was a typo, saying that the series was going to debut late 2021. Let's see here. Real Soldier. Let me see if I can find this article. Okay. See, it must have been a typo because they did go ahead and change it. Yeah, it looks like they did go ahead and change it. Because originally it did say late 2021. It says now won't hit the air until 2021. So I think they probably did go back and actually edit that at some point in time. So well, it'll be interesting, Johnny. I don't really know what they're going to do in regards to that. I would certainly still like the 44 episodes, but you know, I wouldn't be mad if it was just 22 though. But I just feel like that's a ton of power ups. I just don't know how you storytelling wise around that, you know, but that's why I'm not a writer. Let's see. Sexy Boy says, would it be interesting if the girl potentially cast as the Green Ranger, Alexandra Nunez, ends up being an original villain for Dino Fury, like we have now with Blaze and Roxy? You know, again, they haven't officially announced any of these people, so who knows? Maybe some of them are supporting cast. I still feel as though that this probably will be the cast, but who knows? AJ says, what past Power Ranger season may cross over with Dino Fury? Definitely, I'm hoping we at least get a Beast Morphers connection, like a team up. We have already kind of had. We've kind of already had. I think if Dino Fury does cross over with past Rangers, it should be just the Dino stuff. So maybe a Dino Thunder Ranger popping in there. Brennan or maybe Sir Ivan, maybe a couple people from Dino Charge pop in. Again, one of the things that I've been wanting to see is kind of how what Gokaiger did with its season, where they took maybe like one member of a season of a show and they plopped them in there as a cameo for like one episode. I would love to see that kind of utilized for Dino Fury. Sexy Boy says, remember when Adam used to always show the live chat on the screen? I missed that. Yeah, I am using a different program. I haven't really used my OBS studio in a minute, except for when I record live, because of the fact that StreamYard allows me to stream to YouTube, to Facebook, to Twitch. It does allow me to do that. Like, I love OBS Studio because I do miss the live chat and stuff, but I hated the fact that it wouldn't let me like scroll the way that I wanted to. So I would still have to end up through that. I mean, listen, I feel like if anything, while because we are streaming on YouTube, we are on YouTube, you should be able to have like the actual live chat itself pop up on your screen and follow along with that, if you will. I figured you don't necessarily need it on mine, since I think if you have us as a full screen, some of the live chat might just go up on its own. L'Oreal says, I'm with you. I'm with you about Saban again. Move over, Saban. I'll show you how storytelling is done, pal. L'Oreal with their confidence. Yeah, I mean, I think Forever Green, like he said, was just kind of using that as like a placeholder. But yeah, we definitely don't want Saban back. Matthew says an APlus Opinions website actually sounds really cool. Yeah, I'm definitely going to work on it for sure, Matthew. We'll definitely see how long it's going to take us to kind of put something like that together. I don't know. Like it feels like it's intimidating to me to pull off, but I really just need like I feel like I need a web. Like I do know a web designer. I gotta ask her how much it's actually going to cost me though. But like, cause I wanted to look legit. But who knows? AJ says, I missed the watch alongs and reaction videos. They will be coming back. Probably going to wait till probably after Hasbro PulseCon. I do need to finish my Go Buster reaction videos. I know Not Ultra was certainly asking for those to come back. We're so close to finishing it off. I feel terrible because of the fact that we lost so much content. When our other website, our other YouTube channel went down. So all of our past reviews for like Zoosier, Ninja, I mean, goodness, the list goes on and on. Go Busters, like all that stuff is now gone. I don't know if I want to go back and revisit those. So it's a little bit of a bummer, to be quite honest with you. I mean, maybe I'll check my backup. I'll see what episode reviews I do have. They may be like old throwback episodes though, of some of my old reviews. But I'll see what I can put up there. I didn't put anything up there this week for a Throwback Thursday, but I'll try and put something up there. But don't worry, the watch-alongs and the reaction videos are certainly coming. We're just trying to get everything situated with the new channel, building up our subscriber base. I think we're at like 60 subscribers already, which is, I feel like, has doubled within the past week or two, guys. So again, if you haven't subscribed to this particular channel and you were a part of the last one, do us a favor, man. Hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. We're in the process of trying to grow our community again because we do have a patron that I want to kind of unveil. And I kind of want to wait till we at least get to like 100 subscribers before I kind of unveil that. So, because I do want to be able to offer, certain watch-alongs as part of patron only, like exclusive only stuff for maybe some reaction videos and watch-alongs certainly going forward. So in time we'll definitely do that. Hey, JB says, what says you have my support. I shout you out on my Ranger reviews. Hey, I appreciate that, JB. I appreciate that for sure. Also, let me get also want to give a shout out for Time for Toku. If you haven't had a chance to check out their podcast, it's called Time for Toku. I believe you can find them. They definitely have their own YouTube channel. I can't recall off the top of my head as to where the podcast is. Something tells me like SoundCloud they might be on, but I usually will watch their stuff on the YouTube page. But again, it's Time for Toku. Since JB says, since I shout you out on my Ranger reviews, I was like, you know what? Let me give time for Toku a shout out also. Hopefully I'll be on their show here within the next week or so to hopefully just give my 2 cents on some stuff. Lupin Green says passing the torch in the sense of the Beast Morphers team being the ones to announce the Dino Fury cast like they would do that at Morphicon. I love that. I do love that, Lupin Green. Considering the fact that we are getting ourselves a Beast Morphers Q&A, we've got Andre, the Black Nerd, to do the what's the word? Hosting. Jeez, Adam, because it's such a big word. To host and moderate the Q&A panel. I would love that if at the end, while they were wrapping up and they were saying farewell, that they were the ones to go ahead and announce the new crew, or at least introduce them, whether that be cameo form. Like, honestly, if they wanted to bring them in also, like Zoom wise, and have like face-to-face stuff, that would be great. If it's not just a promo photo, I would love to see all that. But I like that idea, Lupin Green. I really do. Shadow Nova says, I hope instead of a high school, it's like a night school. That's kind of cool, Shadow Nova. I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that. Edward Sanchez, what's up, Edward? Appreciate you coming through. He says, I'm very excited that Andre is hosting the panel. Me too, man. He's always a great host, super hilarious. He knows his stuff. Always really charismatic and just energetic, man. I mean, if you want to talk about somebody getting pumped for a new series, Andre's the guy to certainly get you pumped for sure. So I agree, man. Shadow Nova says, by the way, do you think in today's climate, making the black guy the Black Ranger wouldn't be problematic if Russell was cast as black? No, because it's just the color of a costume. It's just the color of a costume. Like, I know back in the day, we gave MMPR crap because it's like, oh, you put the black guy as the Black Ranger, or you put the yellow person as you put the Asian person as the Yellow Ranger, right? Like, I get the idea of like the innuendos, the racial innuendos that it might have, but guys, it's just the color of a suit. Like we've seen have we not seen other black Rangers before out after Zach? And if we haven't, shame on them for thinking that just because it's a black character, we can't put him as the Black Ranger. Says who? Like, it's literally just a color. Like, if people want to read more into it than what it is, then I mean, certainly more. Hey, to each their own. But I know that just based off of today's climate, I'm sure some people would probably complain. But guys, it's not no. It shouldn't be a problem. Let me just say that. Would it be a problem? Probably. Should it be a problem? No. If we're grown adults, maybe not all of us are grown adults, but I think we should be able to tell the difference. Like, I just don't see it as a racial thing, right? Like, I don't see Hasbro saying, "Oh, we're gonna make you the Black Ranger because you're black." Now, if Hasbro came out and said that, then most definitely. But just having somebody have a color representing them, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. Maybe it was something when MMPR first started because of the time period that we live in now. But I would almost say that in today's climate, while I think some people would be like, oh, Hasbro's being racist because of the fact that they made the black guy the Black Ranger, guys, that's nothing racial about that. There's like if that's what you think racism is, if that's what you think the biggest problem that we have in the world, please, that's like, and I'm not saying that that's what you think, Shadow. I'm just saying in today's climate, while I do think that some people probably would say something about it, realistically, it would mean absolutely nothing. It should not be problematic because it means absolutely nothing. because anybody can be any color. That's like, you know what I'm saying? Like I've seen it. Anybody can be any color. So it shouldn't, but it probably would. Toku, what's up, Toku? Saying, I wonder if they keep Guy Sorg as a monster or turn him into a Purple Ranger. You know, I really would love. Well, first off, Toku, thank you very much for your support and showing up today here in our live segment for sure. Sexy Boy does say, I think Purple Ranger, just like Magic Ranger, aka Mystic Force. I think this is a great opportunity not only to even use Guy Sorg, but also to use the Brown Real Soul Ranger also. You know, people were really bummed about the usage of the Real Soul Brown. I like to call him Bronze, really. I think he's more of a bronze, just because he was really underutilized in like just one scene. But I'm okay with either of them. Like if they wanted to use Guy Sorg as a Purple Ranger, I would be down with that, and maybe the Bronze as like the villain, like the evil side of things. I would be okay with it. I'm okay with any of them. I just would love to see them added to the team at some point in time. Guy Sorg looks great. I've always been a big fan of that color scheme, so I would be down for that, Toku. I truly would. But I'm okay with the idea of him of Guy Sorg as purple, or even the brown Real Soldier as a fellow Ranger or a monster. So I would be down for either of them. But if I had to, give me evil and then turning him into a redemption story. Like I that is one aspect I certainly wouldn't mind taking over from Real Soldier, but maybe this time allow the actor that plays Guy Sorg to be around a little bit longer, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I would be okay with either of those. But if I had to lean one way, maybe villain turned into redeemed and then turned into a Ranger. Forever Grin talking about Chance Perez in here says he's super quiet in regards to whether or not he can kind of be assertive as a team leader. We'll see. The A Games 10 says, Chance to me as Real Soldier Black vibes. People say that Russell is a comedian, which is a good thing for a possible Red Ranger. I mean, I guess that's a good thing for a Red Ranger if that's what you expect or look for in your Red Rangers. You know what I mean? I can see the Chance vibes as Black Ranger. I certainly could. But yeah, we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. L'Oreal says 37. You look 28 to me, Adam. Yeah, so does Russell Curry. He don't look like he's in his early 30s. Toku says, I kind of would just hope it's young adults running around and nothing to do with school. You know, for me, I will say like seeing something like Caramager really kind of showcases, like, to me, like, man, we don't necessarily need everybody in high school. all the time. Like I like the idea of every people having real world jobs or real world sort of situations, and maybe a mixture of adults and some high schoolers. Like mix it up a little bit, change it up a little bit. I would be perfectly okay with that. The A game says, Adam, do you have thoughts on the gender swap and maybe adding a skirt to the Green Ranger in Dino Fury? I think the skirt ad is probably something that they can do relatively easy if they wanted to. It would then just kind of come down to original footage, right? How much original footage are they planning on using in here? We may not get a skirt. We may not get a skirt, right? Because of the because of the Super Sentai footage. So they may stick with something like that. I mean, if you look at, again, it's been done before, right? It's been done before. The Yellow Ranger didn't have a suit at all, and that came across simply just fine. I think the idea of I think it would work. I do think that it could work. It doesn't bother me at all. I like the addition of another female to the team. The one thing that I say about Real Soldier is that it's a bit of a sausage fest. There's a bunch of dudes on that team. We really only have like 2 females in that entire series. One is an actual Ranger. The other one is just a supporting member. And that's about it. Everything else is just a bunch of guys. So no, I like the idea of bringing in another female, potentially for the gender swap here. I don't think a skirt is needed for the Green Ranger because the Yellow Ranger in the past didn't do before. If they have had other gender swaps, please remind me, because the only one I'm thinking of off the top of my head as far as Ranger wise is MMPR. It worked successfully back then. So I think this will be I think this will be just fine. And I'm gonna be honest too. I'm gonna be honest. Like physically, when I see Alexandra Nunez, she feels like she's a little bit long when it comes to like her arms, her legs, and things like that. I'm not seeing, and again, I'm not going to get too descriptive or anything, but I'm just not seeing a lot of hips or like super defining features. Like that would be like if you were to see her in costume and then her counterpart, that it would be super obvious. You know what I mean? So again, we'll see. We'll see. Again, I don't even know if Hasbro cares about what the Super Sentai counterparts even look like or what their physique was like. You know what I mean? I think they're maybe just looking for talent and what they can certainly bring. So I like the idea of a gender swap. I think it works out perfectly. As far as maybe adding a skirt, I would be cool with the skirt, but I'm also okay with the idea of not. I wouldn't be. It wouldn't surprise me if they didn't, just based off of the Super Sentai footage. So that's where I'm at. Shadow Nova says Illuminderi just confirmed Jordan is the Gold Ranger. Let me see if I can pull this up here. I'm trying to see if let me see Illuminderi. I go to their Twitter account real quick. Oh yeah, 30 minutes ago. Brand new article. You know what? Let's have a little bit of impromptu. Yeah, let's do this, man. Let's do this. F it. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna pull this up here for you. We're gonna talk about this together. Let me get this set up here. Here we go. Let's do this. Illuminderi, Jordan fight to play the Gold Ranger in Power Rangers Dino Fury. This is by Bryce West. This article just came out today, literally like 30 minutes ago online. Recently reported on who the cast of Power Rangers Dino Fury will be. Thanks to the detective work of the fans, we now are confident that Jordan Fite will also be joining the cast of the Gold Ranger. The other Rangers were already known. However, it was initially unclear as to who Fite would be playing for the season. Now it seems he will be suiting up the rest of the cast as the Gold Ranger later on this season. So there's another photo of Jordan Fite, who we talked about earlier at the top. Not only will Jordan Fite become known as the Gold Ranger in Dino Fury, but he already has a pretty massive following on his TikTok of over 1 million viewers. It's safe to say, considering the season's past, that Fite will join the team as the Gold Ranger sometime near the end of the first half of the season. Oh, here we go. Dino Fury is set to release sometime in early 2021. See, so they definitely are pointing out when that happens. So yeah, guys, they're definitely confirming it. It's funny that we were reporting on it thanks to the detective work of the fans. Like, is the fans your confirmation now? No, I'm pretty sure that they probably were fully aware of this from the other DinoCast announcement that they made. They did talk about the idea that that there was probably going to be a historical moment, I think, for Power Rangers, and that they were holding off in regards to an announcement. So the Illuminderi kind of hinted at this in the past, that as far as it being monumental, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe Jordan Fite would be the first African-American like sixth Ranger added to the group, like that gold, silver, if you will. So I think that's fascinating, man. I think that's fascinating. So yeah, Jordan Fite, ladies and gentlemen, looks like he, in fact, is going to be our Gold Ranger going forward. So that's something that we definitely talked about. So yeah, man, I'm eager. Again, it is important to also, I think there is something important to say about the idea that he does have 1 million followers on TikTok. Again, that's just more eyes and more recognitions to a brand that most people probably think is dead, you know, or is still around. Like I talked to my girlfriend a couple of weeks ago when we were watching the Viewing Globe, and she was just really impressed that Power Rangers was still going on for so long. I mean, her most notable thing that she always remembers, guess what, guys? MMPR, right? Like, I know we talk about the idea all the time, like, oh, can we just get off of MMPR? But again, the general public knows Power Rangers to be MMPR. Like, when she saw the panel for JDF, she was loving it. Just all the information and seeing how passionate he was about the Power Ranger community and things like that. So I think this is brilliant, honestly. The idea of being able to have somebody that is as massive on TikTok as Jordan Fite is, so that you can get your Power Ranger name back out there in front of the masses. You know, whether that means his TikTok followers are now going to watch him on Power Rangers, who certainly knows. But I think this is a great opportunity, not only for him, but also for Hasbro to get people to watch their show. And if you're telling me that somebody like a Jordan Fite could potentially add 1 million viewers, granted, I'm sure not all of them are going to certainly watch Power Rangers, but I wouldn't be surprised if there were some people that didn't know about Power Rangers now jumping on board because of Jordan Fite's inclusion into this. So shout out to Jordan Fite, guys. Again, go ahead and check out his TikTok if you can. I think it's J Fite, Fite 6. But you can probably find him also if you just put Jordan Fite TikTok on your Google search. I'm sure his Google stuff will definitely pop up. Great humor, super creative. I do think he'll bring a great dynamic to the Sixth Ranger for sure. So thank you for that, Shadow Nova, for bringing up the fact that Illuminderi announced that. A little bit of a last minute sort of addition to this week's set of topics, but I'm glad that we at least got that confirmation, because you know we were talking about the idea of like the fans really did find this one out by doing their best Sherlock Holmes impressions and looking this stuff up. To be quite honest with you, was it Jay Savage, I believe, over on Twitter that I first kind of saw this from, over from Time for Toku. I think they're the ones that actually pointed it out first about the Jordan fight news. So congrats to Jordan fight, and hopefully we'll get ourselves an official announcement from Hasbro. I don't know whether or not that's something that they would even release though at Hasbro's PulseCon. Like if you were to ask me, Adam, who would be announced, I would probably assume the first 5, and then maybe Hasbro announces Jordan fight at another time. So that's just kind of where I'm leaning in regards to that. But I could be wrong. But thank you for that, Shadow Nova. Do you, Sexy Boy says, do Human Blaze and Roxy still exist? No, I have not watched the latest episodes online. Too lazy. I don't know. I would assume that they still exist. I would assume they got to be out there somewhere. Whether or not, I'm hoping, I'm truly hoping that they have a bigger role to play in the second half of the season. You know, one of my biggest disappointments is it had me scratching my head. Like, why are we bringing back a Human Blaze and Roxy and not utilizing them like at all whatsoever? So I personally would love it if we wind up getting something along those lines. Just have them come back at least for the second half and utilize them a little bit differently. Who knows? Like, the possibilities are endless of what they could do with the Human Blaze and Roxy. Like maybe they're under those Dino Thunder costumes. Who certainly knows? I have no idea. AJ says, do you a Sexy Boy, also known as AJ, says, do you think the show will acknowledge real life situations? Not a lot, but maybe just a tiny bit. I'm curious to see if we see the background people at all. I don't know if they would acknowledge it as far as like a line in the series opener, like, yeah, we're still dealing with COVID-19. I don't think so. I think if anything, you probably will see real world situations just sort of naturally built into their settings though, right? Like how big are their, how many extras are they going to have on set, right? Will they have extras? The one noticeable thing about Kara Major feels very much like there's a lack of extras, right? There's a lack of big crowded scenes. We may get some extras here or there utilized, but you can really tell social distancing is kind of taking place, or that some people are kind of wearing masks. So while I don't think they'll acknowledge real world situations, like as far as lines in their dialogue, I do feel as though real world situations will just be presented just based off of how, like, it might be showcased. You might be able to tell, like, oh, I can see how they're utilizing like safety precautions and restrictions because of filming and how everything is set up. So I think that's probably how we might recognize it. And AJ, you only have to respond either on Facebook or Twitter. Like, you at least not the same question, because you posted the same question on YouTube and on Twitter. And on Facebook. You can just submit it either one. That's fine. I don't mind you jumping back and forth, but I'm just saying you don't have to submit the same question twice. Is all I'm saying. Forever Grant says, I still say if people want a vibe about Chance Perez, watch IRL's music video Tonight Belongs to You. And I would just even recommend just YouTubing Chance Perez at any chance that you get. See what I did there? Because he has a lot of content on YouTube. If you really want to see Chance Perez shine, definitely go ahead and find him on YouTube, and Forever Grin's suggestion as well. Matthew says, I never knew you did Ninja. Yeah, we did do the whole entire series review for Ninja. That was brutal. That was brutal to get through. One of my more disappointing Super Sentai seasons, but not as disappointing as Ninja Steel. So it's kind of crazy that I almost want to go back and rewatch Ninja Steel just because of the fact that I wasn't the biggest fan of. Oh, and Doomsday even says, and my Super Sentai Strongest battle reviews. No, you know what? I might have those saved. I'm going to go ahead and check my backup disk drive. If I still have the Super Sentai Strongest battle reviews on there, I'm definitely going to go ahead and upload those again. I definitely will. I just hate the idea of like uploading new content to APlus Morphinominal and then like these old videos being posted being posted after like my brand new stuff, right? So people are going to be seeing like these reviews from like 4 or 5 years ago on my on my I mean, granted, I really would love to re-upload them again so that I can create actual playlists, so I can have them all certainly like in one place, you know what I mean, as a collection for people that are going back through, because that's what I've been noticing with my Lupin Ranger and Pat Ranger stuff. I don't know if that series has debuted elsewhere in the world most recently, but I feel like my Lupin Ranger and Pat Ranger stuff, I've been getting like 1,000 views or so on those videos as of late, before our other APlus channel wind up going down. So I felt like it was definitely great for people that were just getting into new series to have older series that they can review on. So I may do that, Doomsday. I may see if I still have my Super Sentai Strongest battle reviews and see what other series reviews I actually did manage to save. So we'll see. Shadow Nova says the black guys, the Black Ranger, cancel. Yeah, like in this cancel culture, man, I can easily see people saying, I'm canceling Hasbro. Cancel Hasbro. They made the black guy the Black Ranger. Like, get over it, guys. Like, it's literally just the color of the suit. Like, it does not matter who you put in the suit, guys. It really doesn't. Matthew says, I still don't get why people create problems about making the African American actor the Black Ranger. I mean, unless people's particular mind just automatically goes there and is like, oh, why is the black guy got to be the Black Ranger for? Like, that's really the only, like, even I made fun of that when it comes to MMPR. I'm like, man, these subtle racist ass, like, just making, but like back in the day, back in the 80s, maybe I could have seen some of those, some of those elements, like being naive, not being aware, and like, you know what, let's make the Asian person the Yellow Ranger, let's make the black person the Black Ranger, sort of thing. But nowadays, especially over the years, we've seen black people as the Blue Rangers. We've seen black people as the Pink Ranger, right? And Shelby. We've seen black people as the Red Ranger in TJ. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, goodness, we've seen the Black Ranger as the Green Ranger also from Lost Galaxy, if I'm not mistaken. Like, so the color of your skin doesn't matter what Power Ranger color you're representing. I think people that would go out of their way to cancel Hasbro because, oh, they made the black guy the Black Ranger, like, get over it, man. Grow up and get over it. And like, I know people would say that too, Shadow Nova. That's what makes it hilarious, because the culture that we live in these days, like you mentioned, in the climate, I could see people complaining about it, but it really should not matter. It really should not matter, because the color suit that you're wearing does not define you as a person. You know what I mean? It's just a representation of the color that it's just a color that you're representing. That's all it is. That's all it is. Does it make you less special or more special than anything? Yeah, Doomsday. Plus, we had Samuel Benta playing the Black Ranger in Operation Overdrive, and he was a black guy, right? So Samuel did it also. Granted, people are probably still butthurt about Samuel Benta for no good reason, but people want to hold grudges. That's certainly more than fine. But yeah, Samuel Benta just did that for Operation Overdrive. So we gotta get past that though. We gotta get past that. But that was just pretty funny, Shadow Nova. Like I can honestly see people like that. Shadow Nova does say, I saw someone say Will from Overdrive was a stereotype because he was a thief. That's effed up, man. That's effed up. Yeah, like maybe yeah, I don't necessarily need, yeah, maybe not, don't make the black guy a thief. Maybe not. Let's be a little bit more sensitive. It's so funny, man. It's so funny. Come on, you know, Power Rangers is, my thing is like Power Rangers has always been about inclusion and diversity. As long as I got a black guy on the team, I don't care what color he represents. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. Sexy boy and his Megan love. I swear. Please bring Madeline Adams, Megan from Beast Morphers for Dino Fury as an ally. Oh god, good old Megan. Yeah, Megan is like the Karen. If they were to do anything to represent like real world stuff, Megan from the first episode is definitely our real world Karen. Shadow Nova, Taylor from Wild Force, and Katie from Time Force didn't wear a skirt. So see, I have a feeling that we're not gonna get a skirt. I'm feeling very much like we're not gonna get a skirt, that they'll probably just go with the regular costume, and I'm perfectly okay with that. And you say Kelsey was a gender swap. Kelsey, huh? See, so I think it's been more than possible, man. It's more than possible, guys, for sure. It's been done before. It can be done again. Doomsday says, I can definitely see Jordan in the Gold Ranger suit. Yeah, I can too, man. I can too. I think he's going to add a great dynamic out. You Are Sexy says, Sierra Hannah, Leanna, Jacqueline, or Christiane. I don't know. Probably Christiane. That's a tough one, man. Acting wise, though, like they're all so great, man. I feel like Liana and Jacqueline acting wise are probably the better out of the four. I do love all these ladies though, but yeah. Lupin Green says Black Panther was black and no one said anything about that. I feel like not quite the fair comparison, but I definitely get what you're saying. All right. Other than that, guys, I think that is probably going to do it for us today, ladies and gentlemen. So, man, what a great episode this week. Man, we went long today, huh? Almost at 3 hours, guys. I didn't even realize we were even going that long. Like, it's legit almost 3 o'clock. I did not expect this episode to go that long. But I had a blast talking with you guys today, especially getting down and dirty in regards to some of this Dino Fury cast stuff. If anything, I may see if I can try and edit some of this stuff, at least the Hasbro PulseCon preview stuff, and then the Dino cast stuff separately for shorter videos. The one thing that I have loved about YouTube lately, as I can put like timestamps in my descriptions of my videos now, especially if they're long videos, I can put timestamps in my description so that when you guys actually go to the videos, after it's processed, they actually will like block off the actual timeline. They'll actually block it off so you know where each segment starts, so you can kind of pick and choose where you want to start off watching. So I'm really glad that YouTube added that. I definitely get what you're saying there for sure, Lupin Grain. I was just pointing it out, but I definitely understand what you're saying there for sure. But other than that, guys, that's definitely going to go ahead and do it for us here today. So thank you very much for everybody's patience, for certainly sticking around and enjoying this week's episode. I do plan on being back next weekend. Obviously, we've got Beast Morphers that's going to be returning. So when we go live noon Central Time next Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, we will be talking about the newest episode of Beast Morphers, and I cannot wait. And maybe I'll eventually be able to take this no spoiler warning down off of my overlay. So definitely looking forward to that. And of course, we'll continue to bring you more news as it winds up getting announced throughout the week. So we have a Caramager review coming for you guys later on this week, Saber episode number 2 review as well, and then of course our weekly live show also, guys. So definitely stay tuned for us. Again, if you're looking for a new home or an additional home for your Power Rangers, Super Sentai, or Tokusatsu fandom, this is definitely the place for you guys. So smash that subscribe button along with that bell notification, so when we do drop brand new videos, you guys will certainly be notified. If you want to follow us also on social media, you can certainly go ahead and do so right here at APlus Opinions. We're going to be on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course Twitch for you gamers as well. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, do me a big favor, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and of course, may the power protect you. I'll talk to you guys later. Keep it A+. Bye.